Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. Let's not waste any time. Let's pick up this conversation as we began it similarly last week. SmackDown's a very interesting show, y'all, because I'm still not really thrilled about the build of Io Bailey. I did like the segment that they got this week, but it was a pre-tape and it was the only thing they got. So I think by and large, I still feel like this is mad disrespectful to one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. Bailey, who I also think is a premier wrestler, has always been, in my mind, one of my favorite of the horsewomen, if not just my favorite of the horsewomen. Because even when Sasha was like white hot, I was never like on the bandwagon as hard as a lot of other people. I think Bailey always kind of did it for me. So you've got two women to me that are at like the upper echelon of their freaking game. Bailey won the Rumble, and this just feels to me like a middling storyline. Whereas Damage Control as a faction, I will say they're getting a bit of play because now we've got kind of folded in Bianca, Naomi, and the now exclusive to SmackDown, at least until the draft. Who knows how long this is even going to last? Jade Cargill, who I will say looked fantastic. So the women on SmackDown are in an interesting spot because on the one hand, your main championship storyline I feel mad about, but I feel like Jade was handled terrifically. And Naomi and Bianca, I find that team very likable. I would not have any qualms if they beat Kabuki Warriors down the road with the tag titles. So it really is your quintessential mixed bag. Before I go any further, though, because I know how I can drone on and on, Ashton, when you look at the state of SmackDown with their women, and really as this past Friday, like as kind of a microcosm of that division in play, how are you feeling about things?
The thing is, they are doing a fantastic job of building towards specifically Bianca, Naomi, and Jade versus the rest of Damage Control. It's just weird that they've chosen to sort of prioritize that over the Royal Rumble winner challenging the woman that she chose to be in her faction who has surpassed her. Like, that's such a juicy story, and it feels like it climaxed months ago.
Yeah, yeah. Like at this point, I almost have to wonder if it would have even been better for Bailey to like outsmart EO, but for her to still pick Rhea anyway.
Yeah.
And then you just save the EO Bailey story for when you could give more of a crap about it. I don't know. I'm really not digging it like I was really desperately hoping I would. Really, as it stands right now, bro, because I don't think this gives away preview predictions, which will be coming next Friday. I want to say 11:30 for us, right? Is usually preview predictions. So next Friday at
Yes,
11:30.
correct.
Just want to keep plugging the content and plugging it right. So I don't think this is like spoiling preview predictions. But if we're talking purely hype, the most hype match for me on the Mania card right now for me is Seth Drew for the world title.
That's reasonable.
Um, what was that?
I said that's reasonable.
Yeah. And like, it's not that I'm not hyped about any other match. It's just that's my most hyped match. Am I still hyped for this? If I'm being perfectly truthful, I think the hype is purely derivative of like how I know the in ring is going to be. Because I
Right.
do think if they get time, it'll be a solid in ring match. But if we're talking purely narrative, I don't even know if this would be top three for me right now. It's it's really taking a hit, man. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I even feel like if we're talking about women, just to kind of fold as much as we can, I think not only has Becky Rhea, I mean, at least when they're interacting, because they finally interacted, just in terms of pure interaction, I feel like they did better than Damage Control Bailey EO this week. But I would even say the stuff that Lyra and Roxanne have been doing just feels more personal and more in line with what I would have liked from Bailey EO.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's very, very interesting. I know you had a bit of a discourse in the Discord, $3 a month for anybody that has not joined, talking about how, and you even kind of said to me on Facebook, where this kind of feels like a character assassination of Bailey. Now, if you're comfortable going more into it on here, I don't want to press it, but I was hoping, would you want to elaborate on that for our audience? Because I found that to
Well,
be a
yeah.
very interesting idea that I
I
wanted to
mean,
talk to you about one to one.
well, because okay, here, let me just tell my perspective, my point of view, and you can tell me if I'm incorrect on anything or if I'm, overreacting or whatever.
Of course.
So, as far as I'm aware, character assassination it can be one of two things. It can either be A, when writers make a character who has been established to be a certain way act completely out of character, or B, it can be when the writers go out of their way to make a character act in such a way that makes them come off like a complete piece of shit for no reason.
Yeah, that's entirely agreeable to me.
Okay, so I feel like Bailey is suffering from the latter. I feel like the writers in WWE are going out of their way to take what should have been the hottest babyface angle going into WrestleMania and completely like they're throwing water on it. Like they're taking Bailey should have been the hottest babyface going into Mania, and it feels to me like they are intentionally cooling her down and preventing her from reaching her maximum power level as a babyface by not having her do anything redemptive whatsoever. Like we've even gone so far as to acknowledge through Bianca that Bailey did a lot of harm as the leader of Damage Control. And it's not even that often that you have the writers go out of their way to acknowledge the harm that a babyface did while they were a heel, fresh off of a face turn. A lot of the time, it's like someone just turns face, and all of a sudden, all the other faces are cool with them. And I was like, okay, cool. This is a complex story. But Bailey has done nothing to redeem herself or to make amends with Bianca whatsoever. And now this week there was the second opportunity in a row, as in like two SmackDown episodes in a row, where Bianca and Naomi were getting beaten down by the three members of Damage Control that Bailey isn't facing at WrestleMania. And the crowd was literally chanting her name, and she didn't do anything. We didn't see Bailey at all. I think it was more, how do I put this? I think from a writing perspective, it was more egregious last week, because last week you had this perfect opportunity to write this scrappy underdog babyface moment for Bailey, where before the main event match she was beaten down by Io, and I need to emphasize again, it was a single person, one person beating Bailey up before a match without a weapon. It was just one. We didn't even see her hit Bailey with her title belt. It was just punches and kicks, like a normal beatdown before the main event match, and then the whole main event match happened, and then there was the beatdown on, I don't even, I think, well, yeah, it was Naomi and Bianca in the middle of the ring by Damage Control. And Bailey was nowhere to be seen, even though the crowd was chanting her name. There was a perfect opportunity there, and we even talked about it last week, to do this scrappy babyface moment, this underdog moment, where Bailey could be holding her ribs and like stumbling out from the back, tries to walk out, tries to get to the ring, and maybe you could even have Io attack her from behind, and then it's 4-on-3, and then it's like, oh shit, the numbers are still in Damage Control's favor, and that builds up to this week of, oh my god, Bailey's coming out. She's at full strength, but then Io comes out, and the 4-on-3 is still too much. And then Jade comes out. And then it's that much bigger of a deal, because then not only do you have Bailey being a good babyface and helping the people that not only believe in her in Naomi, but she needs to earn their trust in Bianca. But then you have like this display of numbers of like, okay, Damage Control actually has an even matchup here. It's a 4-on-4. They can't just run rampant anymore. And they just completely like took that idea and threw it away. I can't imagine that they just didn't see that possibility. I can't imagine that they just overlooked it. These are professional writers whose job it is to think of this kind of stuff. So they intentionally chose not to do it. And I feel like that is character assassination. I feel like that's going out of your way to not have Bailey look like as good of a babyface character as you could be.
You articulate everything perfectly. Normally, that's when I like to move on to the next thing, but I do just want to add something to the EO Bailey, especially when it comes to last week that was so egregious to me. Is that Naomi and Bailey have a segment where Bailey thanks Naomi for Naomi's help the week prior,
Yeah.
and so you could have had that progression, and then Bianca comes in, and says, I think you got what you deserved, and still trying to hold Bailey to account. And like, they're just not interested. Like, I almost wonder, bro, if see, because now in my mind, I'm trying to salvage this because these women in my mind got done so
Well,
dirty.
and
If
that
it
is
was
what
like,
Mark is doing in our Discord too, because he was in the discussion and he is trying to talk about like, oh, the apology is coming. Like Bailey hasn't gotten time to redeem herself because you've got Rock and Cody going over every week, and like there's not time enough yet. And like there was even a point in the discussion when I brought up how like Io beat Bailey down without even using a weapon, and he said something about how like, oh, we only saw part of the beatdown. You never know. The rest of damage control might have beaten, they might have participated in the beatdown too, and we just didn't see it. It's like, bro, I feel like this is like fan like headcanon trying to mental gymnastics your way around bad writing, and I just can't do that anymore with this kind of situation.
and it's not, I want to make clear that what I'm trying to articulate isn't mental gymnastics. What I'm trying to articulate is looking at this story, bro. I almost wonder because that first segment was so brilliant where she originally lays down the challenge to Io.
Yeah.
If you were going to do this and make Bailey so absent at pivotal moments, then this shouldn't have been the story. Now, I want to be clear. Okay, I'm not saying she shouldn't have picked Io because I think we always knew that Rio was going to face Becky and it wouldn't have made any sense for Bailey to cross over and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm saying that she should have picked Io, but then in the preceding week, she should have been wrestling internally with that decision because damage control was her baby and because she thought she had two sisters for life in Dakota and Io. And it's just not what she thought, even up to Mania. I don't want to make it as bad as like the Extreme Rules match she had with Alexa Bliss because, God, that was a damn near burial of Bailey. But
Yeah.
maybe she even has Io beat at one point and she just looks at her and she's just like, why? I didn't want it to be like this. Why? And like she does hesitate, but then she tries to go for the finish, and then that's enough time for Io to capitalize. And then after Mania, it clicks for Bailey. It really is dead, and I should have known that because I should be celebrating something I've worked my whole career for, but my feelings got in the way about damage control, and then she really begins the redemption because you make it seem like she's ready, but she's not showing me that she's ready. Like, yeah, she did the jump on Io at the performance center with that pre-tape, and it was a nice segment, but like I want so much more for these women. And yeah, I agree with you. This could have been another week. Imagine that image. Now I'm happy. I should say this. I'm happy for all the black wrestling fans, especially all the black women wrestling fans that got to have that iconic image of Bianca, Naomi, and Jade pointing at the WrestleMania sign together
Yeah.
and just standing on the ring close show. That is fucking awesome. And I don't want to take that from them. But for me, who is really emphasizing the Bailey Io story, I agree with you. It would have been epic if Bailey was in there with them and she just kind of locked eyes with Bianca even for a second and gave that tentative nod of like, I know this doesn't make us good, but just know that I'm striving to be good, and
Yeah.
there's a difference.
Well, and
And
that's
like,
why, like, I don't understand why she couldn't have been part of it last week too. Because like last week, you could have again, like, if you wanted to have a moment last week where you have damage control stand tall, you still have a 4-on-3 advantage. You could have had Io attack Bailey while she's trying to get out there to help them, and you could even like use that to build Bailey's character up as like she never gives up. She's this like impregnable force of like persistence and perseverance. That's what she's supposed to stand for. Christ, this is so easy, and they just forwent it for some reason.
maybe WWE is even a bit resentful that like fans always wanted to cheer Bailey and they're trying to sandbag her, but that doesn't make any sense. Like Triple H is in charge now. Like Bailey's one of his girls, when you think about Black and Gold NXT and stuff. Like, I don't know what's going
I
on,
know, that's
man.
what I'm saying. It makes no sense that she didn't at least try to help Bianca and Naomi last week, because again, Foster in chat even said even if Bailey wouldn't have been thrilled about the idea of saving Bianca, she could have wanted to at least try for Naomi, who's had her back and who she thanked last week. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a missed opportunity, and it kills me. And I feel like it kills the Bailey character too, because now we've had 2 weeks in a row where Naomi, if we want to ignore everything else, shut off all the other noise, Naomi, the woman who helped you multiple times, who you had to go out of your way to thank, has been getting beaten down at the end of shows, and you have seen it and been aware of it and done nothing to help her at all. Like,
Yeah.
it looks so bad for Bailey. It looks so fucking bad. She doesn't look like a baby face. She looks selfish. She looks like the character that Io was describing in the pre-tape last night.
Yeah, that's kind of the damning thing. And I don't even, because this is the story I wanted them to tell with Kevin Owens when he had his babyface turn. Show the struggle of being different. Hell, Avatar: The Last Airbender actually did it pretty decently with fucking Zuko. He even has that line after he burns Toph's feet. Why am I so bad at being good? You know, like you can tell that story with a babyface. I don't know if Bailey's the right babyface to tell that story. I think that's more appropriate for a Kevin Owens type. But like it's just there's no heat right now for this. Like again, the heat is purely derived from what we know they could do in the ring together. But like I think it might have been Becky in her new book because I know that's been making the rounds that said like the storytelling is number one. Anybody can perform in the ring, but you got to get them to care about why you're performing in that ring in the first place.
Yep.
And like, yeah,
And
it's
I
just
feel like the way that they're telling this story is the way that's going to end up with a split crowd at Mania. Whereas
yeah,
I feel like they should have gone more in a direction where they get the entire crowd behind Bailey. Maybe they just felt like they couldn't do it, so they gave up on trying to make Bailey the base, the pure baby face, and they just said, "Fuck it, we'll just have them, have a split crowd at Mania and just deal with it."
That's so sad though, because like, why did you give up when it was right there? Because even like the week after she made her decision, the crowds were hot for Bailey.
Yep.
Even she was surprised how quickly they took her back.
Yeah.
Like, we wanted to cheer for her. I still want to cheer for her, but like, she's not getting the main event. Her and Io both aren't getting the fucking main event. Bailey's probably not getting her Paramore entrance, which, like, God, I think that's one of the few things this woman has really just wanted. I think I forget what song she wanted to use from Paramore for WrestleMania. I doubt that even happens. Meanwhile, AJ is teased he's getting a new theme, and Def Rebel has been getting raked over hot coals because somebody was like, it's either Evil Ways or the worst Def Rebel theme you've heard in your life. And I'm like, God damn. But yeah, Bailey isn't eating right now. Her fans, like, kudos to her fans, man. I think they're just excited to meet her and excited that she's getting this spot. But like, it's not just about card spots for me. I want Bailey to say, like, oh, when I told this story, I told this story, and I want her to have a portfolio she would be proud of. And this should have been one of her crowning achievements.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I think
And
one
yeah,
story is I think that you can definitely say that she made Dakota and Io on the main roster. Like she reached out to them and brought them back. Like if it wasn't for Damage Control, they were probably both going to Stardom. So Triple H and Bailey reaching out to them and making Damage Control a thing is what kept them around. And Bailey being the leader of the faction definitely helped to make them relevant, make them credible. Like obviously their own talents spoke for themselves for most of it, but like you still have to have the platform, and people a lot of the time don't take you seriously if you're this brand new performer showing up on the main roster for the first time that nobody's ever heard of unless you watch NXT. And a lot of the people who watch the main roster don't watch NXT. Like NXT has a super tiny audience compared to the main roster. You've got almost 2 million people watching Raw and like over 2 million people watching SmackDown, whereas NXT is like between 500,000 and 700,000 people a week, maybe. So, like, what is that, like a quarter to a fifth of the audience, maybe, that watches NXT? And so we're looking at anywhere from 70 to 70, or I guess 70 to 80% of the people who
yeah,
watch the main roster don't watch NXT. That's like, those are going to be quiet crowds when Io goes out there and does her thing until she hits the moonsault, and then people are going to be like, oh, and it's going to take way longer for her to get over if Bailey isn't the person that she latches her name to.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. But we go from the meh to, in my mind, the blah because, bro, I just gotta say, I'm not hyped for this ladder match at all for the tag
The
titles.
tag titles? Oh my god,
Yeah,
no, I know. I do. It's weird though. Like I feel like the ladder match should be like for contendership. Like it should be a ladder match for contendership of the tag titles. But of course, because it's a title or because it's a ladder match, you have to have something to hang above the ring. So they're not going to just put another contract up there. Then it would be too much like Money in the Bank. But man, it's just weird though because I feel like Awesome Truth should have been the ones to win the titles from Judgment Day in a straight up tag match. That could have been the story. That could have been a very compelling story. They could have built that up and done a big payoff at Mania, and they're just like, no, let's muddy it up a lot.
yeah, bro. It's so funny how Bailey Io and the tag title ladder match are inversions of each other because whereas with Bailey Io, I'm like, you guys aren't doing enough. With this ladder match, I'm like, you guys are doing too much. You really should have streamlined this. have this be Finn and Priest versus Awesome Truth.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I
dude,
thought it would be for the longest time, and now it's like they made this announcement a couple weeks ago, and it's just like, why? And now it's like fucking DIY, and I think did Bait and Dunn win last night? I think they
yeah,
did,
Bait
right?
and Dunn beat fucking LDF, who I've been
Uh,
loving lately. See,
and fucking Theory and Waller beat the Street Profits. What the hell are you doing,
big
Hunter?
because fucking Carrion and AOP. I'm telling you, like the mayonnaise is strong in WWE. Jesus fucking Christ, like you have Theory
They
and
saw
Waller.
AEW and they were like, "Holy shit, we're trying too hard. We've got room to fuck around."
Yeah, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I was actually interested in this, like, Judgment Day truth. And even with Miz being involved, Miz isn't nearly as insufferable as he used to be. And I feel like
Yeah,
he's finally in that place in his career where, like, he's been good for a while. I'm not saying, oh, he
yeah.
finally got good, but like, I think we're all like relaxed with him. He's not a fucking me. He's just, he's doing his thing. And like, I really like the dynamic specifically of Priest and Truth because Priest has said, like, look, I like you, Truth. Hell, he even got done beating the crap out of him one time. He's like, just make yourself at home, man, as far as like the Judgment Day, lair or whatever. And like, yeah, he's always felt different about Truth than the other guys, whereas JD McDon't Google me, is just like, oh, I hate Truth, rah, 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 rah. And I like that. I really like the dynamics they had going on there. And then Miz coming in makes sense because let's remember he can't challenge Gunther after that one rematch. So as long as Gunther's champion, Miz can't challenge. So this was like a believable way. And if he fell to the Intercontinental, he's not going to be main event. So this made sense organically. Plus he has history with Truth. And I'm like, yeah, let's just do like a straight up tag title matchup. This is what KO and Sammy and the Usos worked for. Put respect on the tag titles names. The Judgment Day have been a solid heel team. But no, let's just go and let's just do a ladder match and let's just do a bump fest. Like I'm really not here for it. I was disappointed in who qualified. I will say this too. Um, this storyline with what is it? The Final Testament is Cross's group. Um,
Something like
and
that, yeah.
yeah, versus the Pride. This storyline to me is I don't want to be hyperbolic. And no disrespect to the fans that are enjoying it, but to me, it's killing the Street Profits. Like I'm really getting to the point where I
Dude,
am not caring about these
here's the thing.
dudes.
I don't necessarily think that like this feud or this faction or anything like that is killing the Street Profits. I feel like the Street Profits never being able to catch a dub is killing the Street Profits.
That also doesn't help. You're right. That also really doesn't help.
Like these
Like
guys are still entertaining. The problem is they just don't feel like a threat to anyone right now. They can't win a match to save their lives.
now here see, here's where I also get aggravated, right? Because just in case anybody forgot, and or just in case anybody doesn't watch it, because I clearly have too much free time on my hands. We know that WWE does like .com exclusive YouTube, whatever. In one of them, Cross said like a few weeks back, "Oh, Bobby, maybe you shouldn't be the leader of the Pride. Maybe it should be Montez Ford." And who eats the pin tonight? Montez Ford. And I have to wonder if it's going to be like, are they planting the seeds where maybe he gets frustrated and is like, man, I'm better than this group or whatever, and he leaves. But here's the thing. I'm all for Montez being a single star. I've said forever, I think he's got a great look. He's obviously an insane athlete. As a talker, I think he's hit or miss. And as a heel, I'd be curious, though, what that ratio is. Maybe he's more hit than miss. We don't know because we haven't really experimented with it yet. But do you really want it to be like, do you really want the thing that we want to remember though coming off that is just like just losing even in matches like this? Like, I still think not being able to catch a dub is a problem. Like, I want to be able to believe in this dude. I
Yeah.
think it'd be more interesting actually if he was winning and everybody else was struggling, because then he'd be like, oh, I'm seeing what's happening here. But yeah, like if this is all a way, and I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying like I'm trying to give WWE the respect and the courtesy to believe that nothing is an accident, right?
Right.
So like, is this a Montez Ford defection incoming? I don't know, but I'm not even going to pop for it that hard when it happens because personally, I've hated this storyline. Although it'll have my curiosity, and I guess we'll just press the reset and we'll go from there. But yeah, I have not cared for this at all. I hate that because of this. Theory and Waller, that's another group I feel like is breaking up, and or I thought was, and now they're getting the challenge for the tag titles because the past few weeks, I would have believed that like Grayson Waller would have had the Grayson Waller effect at WrestleMania, And because he's such a narcissist, he would have hosted him in Theory, and then Theory maybe would have just stood up to Waller to maybe a middling pop, because something tells me Grayson Waller would even be a bigger babyface than Theory, but that's just me. And like, yeah, I thought they were going to break up because Theory keeps getting dicked over by Waller. Now they're challenging for the tag titles. Tag title situation is a mess, bro. Really, the only good thing about it are the champions in Judgment Day because they're at least a solid kind of epicenter. But yeah, I was really just hoping, yeah, Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth. What else from Smack? Oh well, I mean, what did you think about Logan Paul this week? And the whole Pretty Deadly giving Pretty Deadly the win over KO and Orton.
I liked that, but I also absolutely loved the gimmick where he tried hiding into the ring. Kevin helped Randy to find him, and then Randy beat the shit out of him.
Dude, you and everyone else, because you know what the common sentiment about that segment was, bro? So many people were saying, like, I'm so glad that baby faces aren't like inept anymore. Like that they're actually thinking, because I think the crowd even gestured to Randy that Logan was under the ring, and that's why he looked under there.
Yeah,
And
dude, I
even just
love this. Honestly, felt like house show shit to me. It was cool.
yes. Yeah, that's a great comparison, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I love too that he didn't treat the rings like the ropes as an invisible barrier. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, he's out of my proximity. Wait a minute, I have legs, and like, yeah, exactly. And by the way, Foster, I do agree with you. While we're on the subject of Judgment Day, them even saying that that WrestleMania is all about the Judgment Day and plans and stuff makes me think either A, Priest is cashing in. Well, actually, I think a multitude of things could happen, but I should stay mum because that's more preview prediction stuff. But I will say, I do agree with you, Foster. We'll just have to see if I agree with you definitively by the time preview prediction comes around. So yeah, Judgment Day could be very emphasized this WrestleMania, and I don't know how I feel about that either. But yeah, Logan Paul continues to do solid stuff. Rooting for KO to win the title. I don't even know how that's gonna go. I'm really preview prediction is gonna be fun. Um,
Your face is fun.
your face is fun. You know what else is fun? Watching Santos and all that fucking drip.
Bro,
God,
why is that just so far and away the most handsome faction in the history of not just WWE, but pro wrestling?
that's why I wanted LDF in the form of Umberto and Garza to be in the ladder match. This faction needs hardware. Mainly, my man Santos needs a title over his shoulder with these fucking suits. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a dream deferred, seemingly
Oh.
forever. So pretty much Santos says, "Look, I have to thank this man and this and that, and it's Dom." And he brings Dom out, and long story short, they set up a tag match: Santos and Dom versus Ray and the newest member of LWO, Dragon Lee. This is where I have to be viscerally honest.
I wanted to
This
ask you a question, just to slide this in before your visceral honesty. Do you think Carlito defects?
no.
Okay, now be viscerally honest,
Yeah,
please.
this isn't New Japan anymore. And when Dragon Lee came out, the lack of pop was pretty much my mood. Not that he isn't incredible at what he does, he is, but he has no credibility right now as far as the writing. And you know what my first thought was, even just being completely sincere, when he came out, oh, you mean the guy that Dom beat when he was North American champion to retain the title? And you mean the guy in Santos that beat him 3 times, or yeah, that Santos beat clean 3 times? 3 fucking times. Like he would just eat the pinch. So here was my thought on Twitter, and Javaris even like agreed. He said he put the odds at 45% because I quote tweeted the image when they said that this was happening, the WWE Twitter account, by saying over under 30%, Dragon Lee gets taken out before Mania and gets replaced by Andrade. So that it's Ray and Andrade versus Dom and Santos. And I gotta say, I'm putting it pretty high. I don't think Dragon Lee makes this match. I think he gets taken out, maybe even on the go home SmackDown, where it's like a backstage segment. And it's like, oh, well, we'll have updates on Dragon Lee as they come. And then before their match, it's probably going to be day one. It feels like a day one Mania matchup. It's like, oh, Dragon Lee isn't cleared. What's Ray going to do? Is it going to be a handicap match? And then Andrade's music hits, and we do that tag match. That is one prediction I'll give away, just because I found Dragon Lee coming out and supposedly being the ace in the hole to be absurd. Dom has beaten this dude. Santos has beaten this dude again 3 times. Like in kayfabe, I cannot buy this. It was a good visual with them all standing off with each other in a brawl. I kind of wish Cody's team and the Bloodlines team would have done that, per what we were talking about last week. But yeah, Dragon Lee, Not doing it for me, not in WWE at least. What did you think about this though? Because you love Dragon Lee in New Japan, and I'm curious what you've thought about his WWE run so far, and then
Yeah, I feel
discuss.
like you know what I feel about his WWE run so far. He feels very watered down,
Yeah, yeah,
very slowed down, very handcuffed. You know, the typical words that you hear people to say about WWE people who come from more exciting promotions like New Japan or a AAA or, Lucha Underground, PWG, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But Carlito was not happy about this. He looked pissed.
Yeah, you know what? I will say, man, when I was watching this today, I really didn't take note of Carlito's look. I almost want to pull up this segment and see it now.
Do it.
Um,
Do it.
yeah, because that's why you asked the question, I'm guessing. Do you think Carlito defects? Because you
Uh
saw the
huh.
look and I didn't. So
Yeah.
fair enough.
He looked
Um,
big mad.
yeah.
Because he clearly expected Ray to pick him as his partner.
Yeah.
And
And
even with
Carlito's
your
like,
prediction of it being Andrade, Carlito still misses out on a WrestleMania match.
yeah, look, nobody gives a fuck about him. Santos already proved to be his better, and the only reason he beat Santos in that street fight was because Ray interfered. And Carlito's like, but wait, I started all this drama. I'm the OG of this drama. Where's my spot? And Ray's like, look, man, look, it's got to be Dragon Lee. I wanted to give him a spot at Mania, and since he got taken out, I guess we can go the other way. Yes, Andrade, you up? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yes. That's incredible. I love it. Oh my
How do you like
god.
them apples, bitch? Um, God, I am so unnecessarily sassy for like no reason. I'm sorry, y'all.
I
But yeah,
disagree that it's for no reason. I think it's for very valid reasons.
I love that you enable me at my worst sometimes. Oh
You
man,
mean at your best?
yes. Um, so yeah, I gotta find the segment. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There's Dom. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All
Mm-hmm.
right, let me play up to this. I don't even need sound on because I don't want us to like copyright or whatever.
Right.
Because I'm just looking at a face, which I'm pretty good at. So
You're pretty
just
good at
waiting.
evaluating face too,
Yeah,
honestly.
Carlito even looks like has that look on his face, like, yeah, Ray, you know I got your back. We're gonna do this. We're gonna be so great at Wrestle. What?
Hang on. That's not cool.
Yeah. Oh, Carlito next Santos confirmed. All right, I'm gonna try and fast forward a bit because Ray is but yeah, Carlito even had that look on his face, like that smile, and he's rubbing the hands like, oh, we're doing it. Oh man, no, I'm trying to figure out where we are with this. Hold on a second here. I thought he would just say Dragon Lee's name already. Christ, Oscar. How long does it take you to make an announcement?
He's a witty boy.
Yeah, no fucking doubt.
What can I say?
Okay, yeah, okay, now we're close. Dom's now. He's going through like, oh, which one is it? And Carlito again still smiling, like, oh yeah, I got your ass. Oh man. Okay, yeah, Carlito. I will say he doesn't necessarily look pissed. He did look confused though. He did look legit confused. Like, wait.
Oh, bro, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh, why is that?
That's
I
better.
mean,
You're good now.
okay, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, no, what I was saying was Carlito didn't necessarily look pissed to me, but he did look confused. Like, that's not how you say my name. What?
Hmm.
And yeah, he didn't.
Yeah.
Carlito, he didn't. So you started drama for no reason. Congratulations.
You started drama only to miss out on WrestleMania anyway.
Yeah, way to suck.
Oof.
Yeah.
Fucking
Somebody
oof.
somebody call Gunther because that's a Das oof. Um, Jesus. Foster said maybe Carlito didn't read the script. Maybe he was legit surprised. Yeah, maybe he should work on that, Foster. You know who doesn't need to work on things though? You don't need to work on that face because you're fucking beautiful. Holy shit.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, I think we touched on all the main SmackDown stuff that I would care to talk about because obviously, again, we're not a recap show, and you know the storylines that I don't care about, and then Super Bowl is going to be like, what about this? That's why I ignored it. So So let's move on to Raw. There is a bit to talk about with Raw. Um, God. Okay, I'm just gonna
I
ask
enjoyed
you.
Raw this week.
I did enjoy Raw this week as well. So I'll tell you what. Even though I hate the one person involved in this, I've actually been liking the work of the other person. So here's how we're gonna do this. How did you feel about the Rock's beatdown segment of Cody? Because we're not gonna talk about the whole promo that started this whole thing from Cody. Fuck that. But
It was cinema. It was incredible. I loved it.
I do think again, take notes AEW, although I don't know if they've calmed down or not. I haven't watched them in forever. I feel like they use blood appropriately too. I mean, of course, Cody
I
will
will
use
say the
blood.
blood looked bad. It looked really bad. It looked fake as hell. I think they just used a blood capsule and it looked like ketchup.
Yeah. You see this, Mama Rhodes? You want fries with that? Uh,
I love that. Yes.
oh God. Anytime,
Amazing.
Foster. I love you so much. You know that. No, the beatdown was good. Rock, I'm telling you, it is crazy that this is the best work I've seen him do like in so long. Because I hated the stuff with Cena. I hated the stuff with Punk on his end, at least.
Bro,
Um,
I don't think maybe I'm saying something controversial here. Maybe this is a hot take. This is the best heel work of The Rock's career.
it really depends on how you feel about Hollywood Rock
Well,
in
because
'03.
even when he was Hollywood Rock, though, he was still getting cheered a lot and doing some pandering and stuff. And right now, like, aside from the 1 week in Memphis where he was doing a lot of pandering and being a babyface, basically, other than just shitting on Cody, like, yeah, he has been really actively healing it up and actually being a dickhead. It's been amazing.
Yeah, yeah, this was really good. I'm even starting to, like, question because if they are gonna do a Cody I never closed out of the one thing. I just heard a bell go off, and I'm like, "Wait, what? There's no bell to ring. What?"
I think that's
Um,
why we were having trouble hearing you and you were cutting out. I think if you have audio playing on your end, it kind of like interrupts your mic a little bit sometimes.
that's fair, that's fair. Um, but, uh But no, yeah, like I'm even starting to wonder if the whole like Rock double agent thing is true because if they're gonna do a Cody Rhodes singles match, well, you can't do that if Rock helps him win the title. Like that's just weird
Yeah.
to me. Um, so that makes me kind of question some things, and it should make
Can you
other
imagine if they do a WrestleMania 17 and have Cody turn heel and join the Rock?
dude, dude. A white guy is the new it would be Pete
Dude,
Cody,
he
honestly.
wins the title, but it's like Austin where he wins the title by selling his soul.
And then Cody comes out the next night, and instead of saying, "What do you want to talk about?" he's like, "Acknowledge me," and like fucking
No,
all
no, he
this stuff.
comes out next night and he's like, I'll tell you exactly what I want to talk about.
Me,
New official corporate Cody Rhodes has a spine.
yeah. God, again, I have ideas about how it could go. It's getting harder to
I
be like
can't
Tyler.
wait for your theory on this.
Yeah, honestly, other people are starting to share it low key, so it's
Oh,
not that
really?
special anymore. But
Interesting.
yeah, but it's still gonna be me being me. Um,
Which is the only version of you that needs to exist.
you're so right.
You should never
Um,
pretend to be anyone you're not.
Yeah, but no, man, I really am at the point, like, even doing this episode of Interview today, like, I've enjoyed this series more since we've made it more conversational, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of over it. Let's just get to Mania already. Like, I'm just ready to do the damn thing. You know what I mean?
Did you see the clip on The Rock's Instagram of what happened after the cameras stopped rolling?
No, what happened?
Holy shit, you have to watch this. I don't care if you cut out. I need you to go to The Rock's Instagram and see this. It's fucking incredible. It's
I don't
not
have an
super
Instagram.
long either.
Yeah, so like, I don't have an Instagram account, so I don't know if I'd be permitted to watch the
You
video
shouldn't
without.
need an Instagram account. You should just be able to like if you go to The Rock's Instagram and then if you right click on the video that is clearly just him with Cody on the ground bent over in the rain, you right click it and go open a new tab. It should open it in a new tab and you shouldn't have to log in. You should be fine.
Okay. I also feel like somebody might have uploaded it on YouTube, but I'm not going to assume that that's that. So I'm just gonna do what you told me and go on the Rock's Instagram. I mean, God, if you're telling me to do this, it had to be something.
Oh, dude. I mean, Dave Meltzer reported that he went off script. That's how you know it's fucking great.
Damn. Okay.
Meltzer's such a fucking mark, dude. I swear to God, he's such a stooge.
He is. Um, so what okay, so there he is. Does he whip him in this?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm looking at the right video. Please let me be able to watch this. Yeah, see, it says I need an account.
Did you right click and open a new tab?
Uh, let me try that now. I okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ah, wow. Wow. Holy shit. That's the power of a board member right there. Oh, is he holding myself accountable? Let me do an internal investigation. Ma- Wow. Oh my god. Jesus. Oh, he just rubbed more blood on it. Okay. Damn. Well, he even got a dude. He is both running this TKO board and preparing his candidacy for president at the same time. Because did you see the actual text part of this where he gets a bit more political?
No, I didn't. What was it say?
Okay, well, I'm actually glad they need to write me to do this. So let me read it to you guys in my melodious voice.
Yes.
But even in this crazy fucking world of pro wrestling, this is a microcosm of a larger issue I have with individuals, corporations, and governments telling us what we can or can't do. You have to do it this way, or you have to say it that way, or you'll get canceled. They create fear. If you have a different perspective and don't live by their rules, it's their way or no way. Fuck that. I say it the way I want to say it. I do it the way I want to do it. My choice, our choice. Fuck your clear. Final boss.
He's running as a Republican and he's winning.
Yes. Yes, this is dude, unironically, this is what the Republican Party actually needed. Not like an elderly, like fucking geriatric ass fascist, but no, they needed the fucking rock. Jesus Christ. Screw your regulations.
Dude,
Um,
I my I don't know what I liked more. When he said no clear, fuck that, or later on when he said fuck your script.
yeah,
That was so fucking funny.
yeah, dude, he's actually bringing Bald back after all the damage Ricochet and Caillou did to it, and Baron. This man is carrying
Dude,
Bald on his back.
dude, I actually saw a TikTok the other day of like a Gen Z kid being really aggressively angry that Gen Alpha got Bluey and they had to watch Caillou. They were like, the fuck did this bald ass little bitch teach us that if you whine and complain, you get what you want? Fuck that.
Oh, I hate him so much, bro. I have been begging for a match with Caillou at WrestleMania for give it to me. I will wipe the floor with that little shit. Uh,
You would. I believe you. I have faith in
yeah,
you.
as you should. You've seen my fort, like you know I bring the
Hmm.
heat.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so we go from that to honestly one of my favorite, because honestly that little bit of extra elevated that segment for me, and I already enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
But we need to talk about the real hero of WrestleMania, DM Hunk. But
Oh my god, yes.
to do that, we need to talk about CM Flunk.
No.
I know. He comes
He
out.
did have one good line though.
He did. He did. But he's also a panderer to Chicago. It's like he really is because
He's
you
a
and I are
coward is
anti.
really what it comes down to.
Say that again, bro.
I said he's a coward is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, he's a coward, and not only that, like, you and I being, like, far leftists, we're anti-patriotism, anti-nationalism because, being proud of being just, indeterminately on a landmass just by sheer chance, that makes you a mark, and you should be judged
True.
harshly, probably.
Factual.
Um, he's kind of like a microcosm of that, like, "Oh, Chicago! You were literally just born there. Relax. Like, relax, okay?" Um yeah. So he's like,
Way
"Oh,
to
what a
have
great night in
pride in
Chicago."
the
It's a
place that your
great night.
mother decided to give birth.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
great.
Mama Punk, I don't even know you, but side eye,
Oh,
honestly.
come on, cut a rock promo
No, 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 but no, side eye for sure. And he does the pandering, and then finally Drew comes out and Misfit asked what my problem with CM Punk is. First of all, I didn't like the little like slight shots he had to take, like, oh, Seth has to wear like high heel, be as tall as me or be taller than me, and like, of course, the Drew with his like, are you a coward in a skirt or a man in a kilt? So like, in a way, you could say he respects the difference because of course he claimed to love Roddy Piper so much, but on the other hand, it's like
homophobe.
homophobe and maybe even misogynistic, right? Because coward, skirt, it goes back to
Oh
that
yeah.
like, oh, are you a girl? And
Yeah,
it's
oh
like
my god, yeah, that one slid past me. Good catch.
yeah, and it's like, oh, and then when he had to puff himself up because he's old, and he's like, oh, I never had to put things I did on a
I never had
t-shirt.
to wear
Oh,
someone else's name on a t-shirt to sell it.
yeah, like, oh my god, dude, you are just insufferable, like, just to the most degree.
He
Um,
really is. He thinks he is the shit though, doesn't he?
he does. Like, he thinks he's the coolest person in his own friend group, and I'm like, my guy, they have two different group chats you don't even know about. What are you and Drew had the best line to me, and I know that's debatable because I mean, obviously that's the other one. Don't film up my skirt, you perv. So
Drew was great.
just I love that Drew took his power back by defanging what Punk said. Like, I'm above your basic ass, try hard ass homophobia and misogyny. I'm gonna make a joke of it because you're the biggest joke there is. But not only that, my favorite line that was actually a quote of the year contender for me. Punk, explain something to me. I'm confused. You say you're straight edge. You don't drink. You don't do drugs. And yet you're always in rehab. Yes. Yes. Pristine fucking daddy. Let me grate cheese on those abs. And that's three-fourths of a euphemism on fucking God.
9 out of 10 impression, by the way.
Thank you. That was amazing. That was that was almost as good because the undisputed king is when Jeff Hardy tried talking back to Samoa Joe and he said, "Hey Jeff, why don't you pretend this is an AA meeting and shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the group?" That, that
That is such a good burn. Fuck.
so much so that Randy Orton temporarily deactivated
Corpse,
to get
dude. He
himself
corpsed.
together. Yeah,
Oh man, that was great.
yeah, yeah, and
Classic
so
Joe. That's our AEW World Champion right there.
it is. I'll never forget the one fan that was so excited about having both Joe and Eddie Kingston as champions at the same time. Double chin dominance, baby. We're on top and we're wheezing. I loved it. Loved it. Uh, uh fuck. So I'll tell you. Oh, and another thing I didn't like. Okay, so we'll acknowledge the one good line that Punk had when Drew was talking about how like Mania is his time. He's finally going to become the world champion because he is the chosen one. And then Punk was like, "Who named you the chosen one? Who is he? Say his name." And like even Drew had to crack a smile. Like, that's bait. That's
Dude,
bait. I'm
I
not.
know. Because then it's funny because, of course, with absolutely no evidence whatsoever, there was randomly a report this week that Vince McMahon's name is banned from being said on WWE television.
Well, did you see the tweet that Bailey shared to promote her and EO?
No. Oh, yeah, because it was Vince's name was blacked out. It was like censored.
Dude, it was blacked out with a knife. Like,
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
damn. Um,
Oh, man. I mean,
Um,
he's a piece of shit. I don't blame Bailey.
I don't blame Bailey. I'm just
But
saying,
that could
like,
also
damn,
just be Bailey, wanting to censor the name of a piece of shit. It doesn't have to be a company-wide mandate. Christ.
she's like, guys, it's my Joey Gladstone impression. I'm cutting it out.
Oh my
Um,
god! Holy shit!
I'm
That
on
was an
fucking
amazing
fire.
reference. I'm so proud of you. You're the
Yeah,
best.
like cast me in Fantastic Four as the Human Torch because I'm on fucking fire.
You definitely flamed on.
Yes. Oh my god, that catchphrase. Then Seth Word comes out and he has opinions. That's not that far off from his actual laugh, and more importantly, that's not that far off from Drew's impression of Seth's laugh. Have you heard that on Drew's? I was
Yes, yes.
I was like, honestly, we've always been honest, you and I, and like mostly when I thirst for guys, like it is like a joke because that's more me. Like I do for the people that I quote unquote thirst for, like Superior Paul and Foster and this and that. It's mostly just like my overflowing platonic love. But I will say sincerely, I might be falling in love with Drew
Oh
McIntyre.
yeah, no. Drew McIntyre is definitely someone who has made me embrace my inner bi.
Yes. TWitWoW quote of the year, and it's not even close. Good luck catching up everything else. Oh my god. No, dude, he really is though. Like, dude, he brushes his cat's teeth and gives it high fives. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Nothing is ever going to beat that. Ever.
I'm sorry, Felonious, that you're sad and you write comics sometimes. Jesus
Felonious.
Christ. So yeah, it's a bunch of chuds, and then we find out that Punk's gonna be on commentary, which honestly, like, I didn't even need. You're trying to do like subtraction by subtraction. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
No,
Like,
no, it's subtraction by addition.
yeah, I know, but like, still, he's so negative that I even don't even know if it's like adding anything. But
They're adding a
yeah,
body and therefore subtracting from quality.
I'm gonna do the one thing that all these things, and then of course he had to mention Becky in there. Your wife's more relevant than you. Aren't you ashamed? It's the '50s, dude. Get a life. I am begging you. Like, you talk about how you don't drink and you don't do drugs, and that gives you this amazing life. You make me want to do drugs with how mind-numbingly pathetic your promos are. I need to be high to get through them to laugh at something. Jesus Christ. Um, yeah. No, Foster. I think he
Oh
absolutely is.
my god, Alex. Apparently someone on Twitter replied to Punk, the guy when Punk was asking Drew to say his name, someone was like, the guy who fired you on your wedding day. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So, Seth just kind of oh, hey, Gala. She said she's watching. She's just like 20 minutes behind. Well, aren't you going to enjoy the conversation we've had the last 5 minutes? But yeah, this segment was fine. Seth stands tall by curb stomping Drew to end it because Drew got a little bit preoccupied with CM Punk, but he won't do that again at WrestleMania. It's all good. It's all good. You got one night, Seth. Congratulations. Um, so Candace continues to be awful, and
Oh, I like
yeah,
Candace.
well, I mean, awful is like a heel, like so like putting her feet
She
on the
did
ropes.
cheat
And she,
to win though, and Indy
yes,
clearly did not approve, which makes me so proud of her.
most people, when they're thirsting, are like, "Mother," but Indy with an existential crisis, "Mother, what are we gonna do?" You know what you need to do, Indy. You know what you need to do. You need to turn heel with Candace, and then DIY needs to turn heel so they can be remotely interesting, and yeah, just reunite the way. I will say, even though we already talked about the tag team ladder match, I don't want to stay on this too long. Truth had a great moment.
Bro, I wait, you're moving on. Before we move on, I just have to say, I
Yeah,
was actually going to quote something from a Harry Potter book, and I looked up the exact quote, and man, with hindsight, J.K. Rowling was just such a hack.
yeah,
Because I thought that the quote was that like it requires a certain amount of courage or bravery to stand up to your enemies, but it's so much more difficult to stand up to people you call friends. But no, the actual quote is that it takes bravery to stand up to your enemies, but just as much to stand up to your friends. It's like no, it's way harder to stand up to your friends because like those are the people that you want to keep comfortable. Like like
yeah,
that's way harder to do. So yeah, J.K. Rowling's a hack
yeah,
and a
absolutely.
transphobic piece of shit. Don't support anything Harry Potter, people.
Yeah, if you have to support it, pirate it, please. That's another
Oh
reason
yeah.
why it exists.
Well,
This way you
I
can
mean,
have your
pirating isn't
consumption.
supporting. Those are different things.
Exactly. So,
If
like,
you
yeah, you
have
can
to enjoy Harry Potter content, if you need to get that fix, pirate it. Don't support.
absolutely. That's another great aspect of piracy. It's like, wow, I can have my consumption without the ethical quandary. Who knew? Um, But yeah, solid enough segment. But yeah, Truth had a great moment. I just want to touch on this because Truth continues to be the MVP and shows why this should have been just a streamlined tag team matchup. Fucking Miz is getting assaulted. Truth is on commentary. And commentary is trying to tell him, yeah, Truth, that's your partner. And he's like, no, I'm on
By the way,
commentary
for
doing that.
legal
No.
reasons, I should make it clear that when we say the pirate stuff, we're joking.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, stealing is wrong, I guess. But yeah, Truth is like, oh, I'm on commentary for the night. I'm on commentary. And then Priest signals to Truth, like, oh, get him. And Truth starts getting nervous. And he's like, no, I'm on commentary. Go to commercial break, go to commercial break. And then they beat the crap out of him. That was honestly, I should have thought about that for my funniest moment of the year. Now that I remembered it, I might put it in the running because like that's like one of those cartoons when the guy's just been fucking around and at the concluding episode, like conclusion of the episode, he finds out and just everybody beats him up at once, and you get the whole like cloud of smoke from the fucking brawl and everything. I'm loving Truth, man. I think he's had a line in my funny bone for a long time, but stuff like this like especially hits. And unfortunately, what else hit that coup de grace that he ate at the end? But yeah, Judgment Day is looking good. Them and Awesome Truth are what I'm most psyched about in the ladder match. Shame Creed Bros didn't get in. Who beat him again? Oh yeah,
DIY.
DIY. Ugh,
Yeah, why?
exactly.
Why?
So, Andrade beats Giovanni Vinci. Oh, this is something I wanted to ask you. What do you think of Andrade's new finish?
It's pretty cool looking because he's doing it. Like he's just so talented that I feel like he can make anything look cool.
Yeah,
I kind of think I preferred the Hammerlock DDT, but even that wasn't anything special. I think just it's Andrade, and I just want to see him wrestle. And anything that he decides is worth his finisher is I'm just gonna go with it because it's him.
yeah, yeah,
I would believe that faint kick back elbow as his finisher because that thing looks fucking nasty every single time he hits it.
yeah. Christoph, maybe learn to suck less when you do a spinning back elbow. Um, But I'll tell you what, man. I'm okay with it being a finisher, but I really hope that he keeps the Hammerlock DDT, even if it gets downgraded to like secondary finisher, because he makes it look so good. And I hope we're just never like we're not going to see it again. I do hope that he continues to have it in his repertoire, but we'll have to see.
I definitely agree with my mom's last comment. She just said Andrade needs more matches and camera time soon.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to be a part of an angle, which is part of the reason why I'm thinking like, oh, Dragon Lee ain't gonna last. He veils. You can't have two veiled faces on the same team. Like you need a
Andrade
handsome
used
person.
to veil face and only stopped veiling face because he was forced.
Exactly. Well, true. But also, I mean, what a benefit to humankind. I have considerably lowered my standards for what's possible for myself, knowing that such handsomeness exists. It's like, no, John, you're a 6. That's okay. Let the 12 do all the work. And, just got to be grateful to Andrade, man. He's fucking beautiful. But yeah, I do agree. He needs more stuff to do. And I'm looking forward to him doing it. Let's just hope he does it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Um, I guess. Okay. So I want to talk about these next three angles, and I'd like you to kind of open this one, just because it kind of bleeds in to the. Actually, no, no. You know what? There really isn't much to say about Jay Jimmy this week, is there? Because they still haven't really done much. We know that Jay is
Yeah,
facing Solo
no.
next
I will
week,
no, you know what though? I was just gonna yeah, you just actually said it while I was saying, yeah, you know what though? Yeah, we're getting Jay versus Solo Sokoa this coming week.
but Jimmy still hasn't like won anything. He literally just thinks I'm your twin, but slightly older, and so like, yeah, of course I'm gonna win. What? The fuck kind of logic is that?
I mean, part of their characters is that Jay is the harder worker, to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough. But like, look, you know what makes more sense? If I was to say, "Hey, Foster," or if Foster was going to say to me, "Hey, John, I'm going to totally own you at tic tac toe," and that's probably true because I'd be so distracted about how beautiful he is, I wouldn't even take a fucking turn. That makes sense. This doesn't make any like. Sean said it best, and we just need Sean on here to keep repeating it. You're a twin. That's not an advantage. You're a twin. Like, you just can't ride that wave of being a twin the whole fucking way. Get something. Get a personality. God damn
I
it.
mean, he did show up on Raw because remember it was going to be Jay versus who?
Shinsuke Nakamura it was this week.
Nakamura, right? And Seth and Cody were like, "We got your back because we know that Jimmy and Solo were going to show up," and they did. But then they weren't the only ones.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And credit to Jay though, and credit to WWE. They actually had this weird trend this week because they did the same thing on SmackDown with Bianca versus Dakota, where like you have run-ins, but the match is still complete because Bianca did beat Dakota like legitimately.
Yeah, with a KOD.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay beat Nakamura. This match didn't get thrown out. Like he hit the spear and he pinned Nakamura off that. So I actually
Yeah,
thought, like, damn, they gave Jay that dub. Good shit. Good shit. Like I'm telling you, this guy should either be going after the IC title post Mania or whatever title, like the higher mid card title, like on whatever brand he's on, or just fuck it, go after the world title again. I am
yeah,
cool with this dude holding singles gold. I'm
yeah,
dead serious, especially with him moving merch the way that he is.
yep.
Fuck yeah. Um, but yeah, but then that bleeds into the whole Rock thing. That's why I didn't want to stay too long on it because I was gonna like ask you your thoughts, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute, there's really not much to say here. So here's what I want your more in-depth thoughts on because you're handsome and I enjoy your opinions. Um, what are
Whoa.
you what are you thinking about the developments of Zayn Gunther? Because we actually kind of talked about it, you and I, in a personal conversation, but now that was then, and this is Saturday, and so what are you thinking about it?
Remind me what developed this week between them.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the whole like broad strokes, and then you can talk. So Gunther gave an interview, pretty much doubled down on what he said. Like, I don't think Sammy can beat me. He even went as far as to say, I don't think he can beat Bronson Reed tonight. Um,
Oh, right. I do remember now. That's all I needed. Thank you.
okay. Thoughts?
Hate it.
What
Mostly,
is
I
speed
just
running on?
hate that Sammy lost to someone like Bronson Reed, who to me is like an eternal lower mid Carter, on the way to match with someone that's so very clearly more powerful than Bronson Reed and Gunther.
I don't know if I'm even getting this right, but I haven't. I can't say the exact tweet because it has like the N word in it, and I don't feel comfortable, obviously, as a white person saying it. But they had somebody on Twitter once tweet about Bronson Reed. They give this Godzilla Titantron when he's like 5'4". I'm like, oh god, no. So like,
Come
yeah.
on now. He's at least like 5'8". Give him some
They
credit.
to be fair, the tweet might
Jeez.
have even said 5'8". That's why I said I don't even know if I'm saying this
Oh,
correctly.
okay.
But like, yeah, they pretty much made fun of his height. Like they did a lesser funny because I don't know why, but when you said gain height, I died. I still die thinking about it sometimes. But yeah, they pretty much did a gain height on Bronson Reed, and I'm like, oh man, fuck. But yeah, like and you already heard my thoughts. I'll reiterate them in a second, but again, I want to really center your opinions. You don't like that he didn't beat Bronson, or you look at it as a mid Carter. What do you think about Gable? Like it being, in my mind, intimated that he's going to train Sammy for Mania because, like, you already know
See, now
my
that
thoughts on that.
storyline I love. But unfortunately, it's not working so far because like he was trying to train Sammy for WrestleMania, and part of that was being like, "Listen, man, you can't look past Bronson Reed. He's still a threat, and that's what Gunther wants you to do. He wants you to be so focused on him that you get taken out of your game now." And then Sammy apparently was trying to focus on Bronson Reed, but it didn't fucking matter. So that makes it so much worse because like the whole gimmick was like Sammy was supposedly focused on Bronson Reed, and he still lost to him. That's gross.
Yeah, yeah, and okay, y'all. So, because again, I had this conversation with Ashton when I had caught up on Raw, and we were kind of gaming and showing and stuff like that. And I had said to him, my concern with this, see, it can go one of two ways. And I'm really scared of the one way that it could go. Because if Gable's training Sammy, and we even see like a training montage or something, which I feel like WWE hasn't really, I don't even know why. I never even was a fan of the movies, but I'm like, it's Philadelphia, it's WrestleMania 40. You have these scrappy baby faces, and there's not like one Rocky esque thing going on to me, except literally The Rock, but he's a heel. Um, and I'm like, if they do a training montage, if they do several segments of Sammy like training, maybe Gable trying to pump him up psychologically, whatever, it could be great TV. I like Sammy and Gable. I don't want to be like pissy or a poor sport. it'll probably be good stuff. But in the longer scheme of the story, I'm thinking either A, the training pays off and Sammy wins. And then what I fear happens is post Mania, they're still on the same brand to do this. Gable says, "Hey, Sammy, congratulations, whatever." And then because I think it would make Gable too much of a heel to be fishing for this, so I would have Sammy be like, "Hey, listen, it was because of your training that I did this. I want to give you an Intercontinental title matchup." And Gable either turns heel to win the title, a la like Rude beating James Storm for the TNA World title all those years ago, or Sammy just beats Gable again and then Gable turns heel. Either way, Gable goes heel and I hate it. Or the option that I would prefer, but would still be weird. I don't really think you completely win either way. Gunther retains, and then Sammy's like, "Look, you train me, but for me, it was training. You live this every day. I think you can take it that extra mile." Pretty much the difference between an Ascended Saiyan and a Super Vegeta or a Super Saiyan 2 and Gohan. Like, you're just that extra notch above with Gunther specifically. Like, I know you can do this. Gable gets his story and he wins. Although it still leaves me scratching my head where it's like, but he used the training he's going to use, and Gunther already showed he's better than that training. So like, I don't know. So yeah, it's weird that Gable's getting this involved if he wasn't going to be a part of the match directly. I think is my problem.
Yeah.
Um,
They're making some really weird decisions for this Mania for sure.
Definitely. I'm glad you said that, man, because you're not the only one that feels that way. At least you got a friend in me, if nothing else.
It
Like
just
I
feels really
definitely,
wonky. It feels like they're all over the place. It feels like they're, I don't know. It feels like they're intentionally sabotaging certain things. It's just weird.
yeah, yeah. I really worry that a Gable heel turn is coming, and I reject it with my whole being. I
Dude, that's
really,
like I feel the same way about Bianca because there are some people speculating that Bianca might be turning heel at some point within the next month or two, and I just like no, absolutely not. That doesn't sit well with me at all.
dude, oh God, I want a bit like, because we have our fun, but when I'm talking seriously, I always want to be in pocket. I always want to be respectful. So I don't know if this is like disrespectful, but like the vibes I get, and she's coming off great on TV and they positioned her great, but the vibes I get, Jade would make more sense to turn heel shortly after all this than Bianca would. I'm like, don't turn Bianca heel. We just had Bianca trend recently because racists were being racists,
Yeah.
and everybody rallied to Bianca's defense. Like, that's not believable. Jade coming in and immediately dominating and stuff, that's more of a heelish vibe to me. So I understand your fear though too, man, because like you and I have been defending Bianca the last few weeks. Like, that's a normal human response when somebody does fucked up shit, and more importantly, when they do fucked up shit and sustain that fucked up shit, like Bailey did with Damage Control. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a side eye. It's gonna be a bit of a work back. I don't just get to kick you in the nuts and be like, "Hey, sorry about that. We good on that cookout next week?" No,
You
you kicked
forgive
me.
me, right?
Yeah, be like, first of all, I didn't hear an apology anywhere in that sentence. Second of all, get the hell out of my face while I'm icing my balls. Like,
Oh,
just
hey,
what?
bud, you know I didn't mean it, right? You forgive me.
Yeah, like what?
Very narcissist of them.
Yeah, what the hell? Um, wow, I got so worked over a made up scenario. Wow.
Yeah,
But
you know what? You've got a very creative imagination.
I do. It's a problem. Also a solution. But let's see here. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, of course, Becky Rhea. What did you think about this week, man? Now that
Oh,
really walk us through it. Why'd you feel that way?
just like the whole thing with Rhea crossing the line of bringing up Rue, but I I think the thing that I really didn't like was how overly intense Becky got and like bringing up her father and shit. That's like it just feels like a step too far. But I fucking love the line that Rhea said about Rue calling her mommy. I love that. That's such good shit. But then Becky took it. It's like God. It's like when a bunch of buddies are sitting around talking about their scars, and it's like, oh yeah, I got this from skateboarding. Oh yeah, I got this because I fell off a gym set when I was little. Oh yeah, I got this because the fucking weight fell on my head when I was lifting or whatever. And then someone's like, I got this because of cancer. And it's like it just brings the fucking mood down and it kills everything. And that's how Becky was with this. It's like, oh, my dad never got to meet his granddad. It's like, fuck, man, why?
Yeah.
And the vein
Yeah.
popping in her face too. Like, God, if you have to put that much effort into not crying while cutting a promo, maybe you're not emotionally ready to cut that promo yet.
And not only that, again, this is not as bad. Well, maybe even because it took so long to even Rhea acknowledged in her promo, like, "You think Becky's attention would be on me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, facts. Like, why is it taking so long?" So I can honestly say that both women's title matches have their problems, and I think they're coasting on the quality of the competitors. And that is like, that's not cool at all. Because I'll tell you another problem I had, and again, this is just my opinion, and maybe I'm too old school at this point. You know, ruthless aggression era, I think, has gotten to the point where, oh wow, you like that old school wrestling. Oof, oof. But I like the story better when it was more about Becky realizing that she's in the later half of her career than the earlier half. And she's like, I need to know if I've got one last good run in me, if I can still compete at the level I'm used to competing at, if
Yeah.
I can hang in the ring with the best woman in WWE right
You
now.
see, and I
That
like that story. I think that's a great story. The idea that Becky feels a little bit overlooked or like maybe she's been surpassed and she needs to prove not only to herself but to her peers and fans that she hasn't. Like, I love that story. I don't know why Becky had to go and take this in this direction. I thought that Rhea's heel work was great, but then Becky was like, "You think this is a joke?" And I was like, "God damn it."
Yeah, like I just that first promo about what was it? Like Rhea being the
The
bear
hostage.
and Becky being the lion, whatever the animal she compared him to.
Right. I don't
And
remember that promo. I might not have caught that.
I think it was actually in my promo of the year contender list. If I could pull up the list, I think I even titled it with the animal she said. But I love that because I'm like, man, like Becky's acknowledging again that she's in the later part of her career, that she's closer to the sunset than the sunrise. And it's like, can I still compete at this level?
Yeah.
Um,
How
and
old is
that was a
Becky?
really,
She's got to be closing in on 40, right?
I would think so. I mean,
37. So she's not that old. Shit.
not that old, but she might even be thinking like I'm a mother, and maybe her priorities have changed. But then she's also thinking like I don't know. And Rhea
She's got
is,
to go get some advice on how to stay nice and spry in the ring from Asuka.
yeah,
Because
really.
Asuka is in her 40s and she is still incredible at what she does.
Yeah, and like even the whole Nia thing, honestly, you could have baked Rhea into that. You could have done 1 week on Raw where it's like Becky and Rhea play pick your poison. Becky picks Rhea's opponent. Rhea picks Becky, and for Rhea, because of the history, she could pick Nia, and then Becky just beats her, and that's it. Just that's it.
And Becky could
Um,
have picked Liv, and we could have gotten at least a modicum of closure on the Liv Rhea shit.
Exactly. But no, like you could have involved Rhea in this story every step of the way. And the fact that you chose not to, because again, this is a problem that we called months ago.
Yeah.
So this isn't even like a new problem. This is the problem when you're a women's champion, but the bigger thing that Rhea is the leader of the Judgment Day, even if they don't want to
Yeah.
call her the out and out leader. I love that for Rhea that she gets to do stuff with the guys and more like upper mid card to main event stuff. She deserves to be there. But like when it's time to be the champion, that part of your prominence, that part of your presence should be emphasized. And yeah, I feel like they didn't involve her enough in this. I feel like there wasn't enough Becky Rhea, and now they're trying to. Because see, you know what that promo is to me, man, that we're all like complaining about with like Rue being brought up. It's overcompensating. You're trying to speed run, making this personal because you wasted so
Yeah.
many weeks on Becky Nia
And Becky Liv.
and Becky Live. Like, pace your shit better. You don't just get to speed run. Oh, it's personal now because Rhea mentioned it. Fuck you. That is so
Well, and that's the thing
lazy.
too. We got Becky versus. Wait, did we ever get Becky versus Liv 1-on-1?
We did, and Becky won. Remember that was like what was it? 2 weeks ago.
It preceded Becky Nia though, right?
It did. The last woman standing match. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Okay, so we got Becky Liv. Was there anything like story wise about that? Like, was there like a handshake afterwards or anything?
Well, yeah, because even before the last woman standing match, they probably I don't know if they shook hands like after their match because I still don't think I even went back and watched that. But I know that before the last woman standing match with Nia, Liv was backstage with Becky and she's like, hey, take her down. Pretty much wished her luck kind of thing. So they seem like they're good.
See, you could have had like a mutual respect thing there where Becky and Liv have respect for each other. And yeah, you could have had like you said, like the pick your poison thing, and Becky could have picked Liv, and it would have been like, whoa, Becky Lynch clearly sees a lot in Liv Morgan, and she is not only picking Liv because she thinks Liv could do some serious damage to Rhea before their match at Mania, but she's also giving Liv the opportunity to get a measure of revenge against Rhea for what Rhea did to her beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
There's good shit to be done here, and WWE's foregoing it on purpose.
Bro, I feel like they've left so much on the table, like in terms of pacing and stuff for this Mania. And if these programs are going to go beyond Mania, which again we don't know because we don't know how the draft is going to go.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't know if they plan on having Bailey, Io, and Rhea Becky go past Mania. Maybe they're just planning to do these matches again at Backlash because it's in fucking
A lot
France.
of
And like,
people are definitely thinking specifically that Io Bailey is a program that will last past Mania.
and dude, with the way it's been, I certainly fucking hope
It
so.
feels like it almost has to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I think that covers Raw for me. I can't really think of anything else I'd want to talk to you about with that. So that only leaves NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the person that I usually get NXT from, they didn't have like a report for this week up, so I'm gonna have to look elsewhere.
Oh,
But
I can start talking about NXT if you want, bud.
sure, where would you like to start us off with NXT?
Well, we did have a Dijak versus Sean Spears match that wasn't overly interesting. Joe Gacy got involved, but Dijak he didn't really like actively help Dijak win. It was more of just like he kind of distracted Spears sometimes, but like it could have distracted Dijak considering the fact that he just got out of a program with Dijak. He just didn't. He just distracted Spears. So Dijak ends up getting the dub with the Feast Your Eyes. Did you see the Roxanne promo?
Yes. What did you think of it?
I kind of liked
I did too. No, it was good. It was good. I mean, talking about how she carried the division on her back, how the little girl that she was gullible and naive, and she's like cutting up the pictures of her memories and stuff. Straight up said, I put this brand before my own life. I mean, damn, like really, really went hard in the paint there.
Well, I'm proud
Um,
of her for realizing how unhealthy that was.
yeah, yeah. Look at her being better than Codius, but then again, who isn't? Um,
Oh my god, I love it when you're right.
God, me too. It's great.
It is. It's the
Um,
bestest.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lyra, but right now I am rooting for Roxanne to win the title. Either that or get called up with this same energy, please. Do not press the reset button on your own character.
Yeah.
Come up with this same sense of like entitlement and aggression and like, yes, please. Um, we got Thea Hale versus Jasmine X. Nothing really much to say here. Thea won via submission. What did you okay, here's the
Wait,
big
before
now.
we move on, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of Jasmine Nix?
I didn't really think much, man. Not to be negative, not to be negative, but
She
it's
just
just yeah,
didn't stand out to you in a
she just
positive
didn't
way,
stand out to
right?
me. No,
Okay,
no.
that's fair. Because I think she's actually, I think I did some commentating, like literal like text commentating of NXT on Tuesday night, just to kind of get my thoughts down. I think I did actually. That might have been Friday night. I'm pretty sure I did it Tuesday too, though. Yeah, I
Nice,
did.
nice.
I actually specifically said on Tuesday night, Jasmine Nix is kind of solid in the ring. I'm a bit surprised that Pele kick was really good.
No, yeah, yeah.
Did you
I
see
like
the
that.
Pele kick?
I believe I did, and I believe I can agree with you. That did look good. That
Yeah,
did look good. Yeah, yeah. I like the finish that Thea Hill didn't lose, even though she was distracted by JC, and she was still able to get like the Kimura for the win. I'm like, oh, thank
I
God.
loved that. That was really cool. Yeah, I liked that a lot too.
Here's what I wanted to ask you, and clearly Javaris will be excited for us to talk about it because he's losing his fucking mind in the chat. What did you think about the prime target they did on Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams?
The prime target. What's a prime
What
target?
like the mini doc essentially where they did the vignettes like throughout the
Oh,
show?
okay. I mean, yeah, that was pretty cool.
I've been missing when NXT would do stuff like that. So actually, this is very
It's
welcome
always
by me.
good. Yeah, like that's. And I feel like that's really like something that would benefit AEW actually,
Yeah,
is to just have something to communicate stories to your fans, even if it's just simply telling backstories of relationships between your wrestlers. to just kind of explain like how they know each other, how they met, why they like or don't like each other. Normally it's don't like, that kind of stuff. It's really nice to just kind of sit down and explain to your fans some of these things. Like I feel like AEW does a lot of just like, here's this thing that's happening and there's a lot of backstory here, and they just expect the fans to know because they just expect their fans to be hardcore wrestling fans who just already know. But like, that's a great way to alienate people who don't already love your product, which means that it's a great way to limit the potential size and capacity of your potential audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really couldn't have said it better there as far as how AEW could improve and appropriate stuff like this. Um, I thought this made Trick look great.
I
I
can't wait
think,
for NXT this coming Tuesday. Although I hope that it's not just like a glorified kickoff show, basically, because they've got Stand and Deliver coming up a week from today.
yeah, dude, this week is gonna be fucking nuts. Jesus Christ.
It is.
Um,
Yeah, it is. We've got
I'm
TJPW Wednesday, Stardom Thursday, Preview Predictions Friday, Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania Night 1 on Saturday, and then WrestleMania Night 2 on Sunday. And then we've got a 5v5 the following week.
yeah, I'm not mentally ready. I ain't gonna lie to you all. This is gonna beat my ass. But I guess it's just, good luck, everybody. Um, so yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But I like the prime target, and I think it made Trick look really good, especially when you have top guys. Whether I like that they're top guys or not, like Punk and Cody really putting over Trick, that does help, his perception for the main roster and stuff. And Carmelo looks like the biggest fucking asshole. Um,
Dude, he really does. This dude keeps insisting, like, I brought you in to basically be like my hype man, to make me look better. You were never supposed to be a star on your own. This is bullshit.
Honestly, I was keeping it together until the way you did the bullshit, and then I died. Because, yeah, he's so salty about it. He's like, you weren't supposed to do things. It was about me. Like, dude, what the fuck?
It's like, bro, if you wanted someone to make you look better, you should have gotten someone that was 5'2" to make you look a little taller.
Oh, again with the practically gain height. Jesus. That should be
That's
your.
what Trick literally said. Like, you could be wearing fucking lifts on a step stool with a fro and you still wouldn't be looking me in the eye. I'm like, bro, I'm just doing what Trick did.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, Trick really looked great in these. And they did three of them. And yeah, Trick looks ready. Mello just seems like I'm me. Like, what's Trick gonna do? I made you. And it's like this never ends well for the heel. A little bit of stuff I'm skipping from NXT because again, we're not a recap show, and fuck some of the stuff that happened on the show. That the beautiful thing about
Dude,
embracing that we're not a recap show, you have no
yes.
idea how much shit I skip across
I know.
shows that I just
But
do
dude,
not like.
I think I even told you on Tuesday night when we got together after NXT, 30% of the show was absolute dog shit, but the other 70% was pretty damn good.
Yeah. I speaking of promos for the women, we liked Roxanne's promo. I really like Lyra's promo too, though.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
Lyra was really good too, for sure.
she had a lot of confidence, and she really seemed to say, like, this title, it broke you, and that's why it's not going to come home with you, because I can handle the pressure that comes with this championship. You got knocked down and you showed everybody who you really were. I've been knocked down, I came back, and yeah, I became the champion. And another, I love that she said in another life we could have been friends, and because we had such similar paths, but you chose the wrong path, and I'm proud of the path that I'm on. So Lyra, it tells me that the importance of this match for her is just this match is supposed to be vindication for her ideals as a champion and what a champion should be. And sometimes that's enough. I'm like, you know what? These two are about to have a banger. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be freaking great.
Bro, when Lola Vice came out, I in the Discord live wrestling discussion channel, I was like, "Oh God, Lola, the living thirst trap," and then she called us someone. I think she did like an open challenge, and it was fucking Natalia, and I was like, "Oh God, it got worse.
n-
Fuck this shit. I'm fast forwarding," and I did.
That's literally what I did, and notice how I sailed past it here because I'm like, I'm not even gonna give us the chance to talk
Well,
about this shit.
what was worse though, that or Ridge Holland fake retiring on TV?
I skipped both. I didn't even know what Ridge did because I skipped at the moment his music hit. I didn't even
Yeah,
bother to wait and see what he did.
dude, he got this long, drawn out, emotional promo saying that he had to retire from in ring competition. I was so like baffled, annoyed, angry, like all the negative emotions. It was so just
I don't
this
know
whole
why
angle has been so bad.
I don't know why the mid carders in NXT are like, I can have the worst storyline. Like, just let Gacy and Dijak have this. But like instead, Spears and Holland are like, no, no, we can suck better. Uh,
Oh,
I will say I agree
better.
with. Say that again.
You said we can suck better.
Yeah, yeah. Enjoy your pop. You're welcome. Um, Even Foster said they lost me this week. That's how you know the story was bad because he's actually, because of how fucking wholesome and wonderful he is, and 100 times the human being that I am, tried defending this storyline. Congratulations, NXT. You let Foster down. You're fucking irredeemable.
Wow, they
Um,
really are. How fucking dare they? The absolute nerve of these fuckers.
I'm gonna drive to NXT's house and like fucking egg that shit. Um,
Hickenbottom. Drive to Hickenbottom's house.
yeah,
I feel
fucking
like Hickenbottom's the type of dude to live on a ranch.
yeah.
He has
Fucking,
horses.
he's gonna wake up to all those horses missing because I let him out of the fucking pen. Like, yeah, fuck you.
I feel like he's the type of person who has a chicken coop.
Yeah, well, they're gonna
But
fly
like
the
he
chicken.
never does anything with the chickens. He relies on his wife and or children to do that for him.
Of course, because old-fashioned, by which I mean misogynistic. Um,
Yes, that's what I was
so
going for. Did you see
so
Ilya versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo?
I was about to get to that because I've been gearing up to say that I agree with Foster that I actually like the Staxilia stuff because
Oh, I
I think
admittedly did fast forward through this just because I'm not a fan of either guy. So this
that's
is
fair.
all you, bud.
It was a pretty solid matchup, but the big thing was Ilya was selling his hand after the match and even in the post match because they had a segment where he gets invited not to the restaurant but to that other special location. So there's going to be some weird kind of segment between Ilya and the family next week, but
Oh,
it
great.
also seems to imply that Ilya won't be going in to stand and deliver 100%. So it's like the family knew Stax wasn't going to win, but it's not about winning, like Foster said. It's about doing damage. And so when you tell a story like that, when you're realistic, like, hey, Stax, look, I love you, and this is going to be you getting made for the family tonight. But he's not even getting Joe Pesci made, as in got dead. He's just going to take the beating, do the family proud, bring that title
Get
home. Way to go,
headbutted in the
Stax.
chest or forearmed in the chest or whatever the fuck Ilya
Exactly.
does. Fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
I
Oh
really
man.
hate him.
Your hatred for people, I like. It's actually disturbing for me how much I'm enjoying it. Whether it's Morph, whether it's Ilya, it's like when you choose hate, arousal happens on
Oh my
this.
god, Alex Foster and I had the same thought. He said the other special location. It's Olive Garden, isn't it?
Well, when you're here,
You're
you're here.
fucking here.
So it should be. It fucking should be. Um,
Oh, that makes me smile.
but I gotta say, oh, first of all, Stand and Deliver also made the right choice by making the metaphor the hosts. Way to not
Yes.
fuck that up, at least.
Dude, I love them. I wonder if Lash Legend is going to try and help Trick Williams to win the title.
Oh God, one day at a time. One day we'll see.
It would be amazing, though. Let's be real.
Josh Briggs beat Duke Hudson, but that doesn't matter.
Oh, see, no, I think it does matter, and I'm disappointed by it. I would have preferred Duke.
No, no. Well, I mean, you're right, but I was going to say it doesn't matter because we got Obafemi standing atop his mountain, addressing both him and Dijak, and God, it was beautiful. He just pretty much said like, competition's gonna be fierce, but you guys won't be enough to take this title from me, and it's gonna be he's taking them both on at once. The confidence, the girth of the confidence of this fucking champion. He might be like, I'm telling you, he is in such a competitive era, and it's a testament, at least on that front for WWE, between Roman Reigns, Gunther, and now Oba, who, like, in terms of length of reign, like, Oba doesn't even compete. But in terms of just believability and credibility, like, he is a part of a pantheon right now of really amazing champions. And I mean, hell, put Rhea in there and put Io in there. I just wish they had better stories right now. But Oba, even though he's had the title for such a short time, you would think he's held that title for at least 8 months with his confidence. I love it. I fucking love it. This dude, god damn. And again with the drip, by the way, fuck. Like, what are you doing to me, wrestling? What the fuck? So that happened. But my favorite thing of NXT had to be the Wolf Dogs versus the Alpha Academy.
Nice.
This was a better match than I thought it would be. You saw this, right?
I might have kind of zoned out during this because I don't remember it very well. I
Bro,
did see a couple of the spots from it though. Like I saw like the moonsault slam off of the shoulders of I don't know if it was
yes. Yeah, dude. Okay, so you know to save time because like life has been crazy lately and I haven't been able to join you guys in the Discord and live wrestling discussion for these shows, which I miss. Next week is a new week, and God knows I'm gonna need to be on my A game next week because we're doing literally everything. Um, but like I watched it on 2 times speed to save time. I caught this on 2 times speed, and I'm like, wait, I didn't see what I think I just saw, right? I practically pulled a Booker T. Tell me I didn't just see that. And I had to
and yet
rewind
you
it
did, sir.
like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I think like the last 2 times, like I watched it on normal speed, and I just thought this dude is a fucking animal. I love Braun Breaker, man. Jesus Christ. First world title win. Like,
I
God.
appreciate you reminding me of a really good Mitch Hedberg joke. Thank you.
Nice. You're welcome. But like the dominance, the chadness, like this dude is the very quintessence of jock injected into every single vein of his body. Like, what a freak. What the fuck even was this? Like the power bomb to Otis is not super cool. Yeah, whatever. But like, that was insane. Like, what are you even
It
doing?
definitely was very impressive.
Oh my god, dude. I love this, man. And then the like, look, I said like maybe 2 years ago on here. God, we've done so many 12 episodes just of everything, really. That like,
It's
there
true.
are times I feel bad for Tozawa because the dude can go in the ring, right? And like we know from his stuff in PWG, the dude can even be badass. Like I do use that word unironically with him. Tozawa is nothing to fuck around with. But like with this character and everything, like he died. I was like, the moment Braun speared him, I'm like, it's over. Like, check the pulse. God damn, the spear was devastating. Braun Breaker is definitely one of my favorite wrestlers in WWE right now, and it's honestly not even like that. Like Kevin always gonna have a special place. Love Sammy, love Jay, love Drew, but Braun, when we're talking about that next generation specifically, he's leading that pack for me, and the only person giving him any fight for me is Oba Femi because Oba's
Yeah.
just
What about wait? What
insane.
about Trick?
I do like Trick, but I'm gonna be honest, I like those other 2 guys quite a bit more. Like,
Really? See, that's
yeah,
interesting because I don't know. I think I might even rank Trick just a notch above Braun, and I think I have Obo above both of them.
and you know what? That's fair, man. But see, that's why I love this era though, because I feel like everybody's gonna get something, right? Like you have guys like you that are like, oh man, Oba's on my TV, and of course I'll be joining you for that. And you're
Dude,
gonna have millions of people be like,
I'm
oh
I'm
man, Trick's
I'm sorry
promo
to
is next.
interrupt you, but I'm such an Oba mark that I'm like, oh man, Oba music hits. I can't wait to watch him walk to the tune of
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. Millions of people are gonna be like, "Oh man, Trick's promo is next," and then I'm gonna be like, "Yes, Braun. Who are you gonna break and have?" Like Braun really will be my Goldberg. With like,
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a great comparison. That's true.
yeah, because I love watching this dude destroy people. Like that short that I shared in the Discord of how he like in that Iron Survivor challenge when he got the 3 pins in 30 seconds. I can't tell you how many times I watched that shit when I first knew that it existed. And I'm like,
Did that moment win any awards for you for your year-end awards?
no, but you know what? It should.
It
It
should
really
have. Yeah, it really should cuz I feel like you have talked about that moment quite a bit since then and I feel like that really stood out to you in like a almost like
he
a really
just
memorable standout kind of way.
he said with his whole chest, happy wheezing assholes. And I'm like, my fucking dream. Like, this dude is able to be the asshole I've aspired to be my whole life. And he has the physicality to back it up. You fucking king, god damn it. Fuck. Like, no, this next generation is special. And that's not even to discount the women, because honestly, when I look at Lyra and I look at Roxanne, especially and stuff like that, women have got momentum too. But I gotta say, and even in context, I feel a bit icky saying it like this, but as far as male wrestlers go, like we're fucking eating out here because like god damn, like oh my god. Trick, Carmelo does have the goods, but I really do think the triangle is Trick, Oba, Braun, and I'm like I'm so here for it. So yeah,
Well, yeah,
Wolf.
because like even with Braun, like Braun is a little bit on like the short side for what WWE typically pushes as a main eventer. But I
Yeah.
think that his just pure like physicality is going to overcome that.
Oh, dude, 100%. I think.
Mela
Yeah.
doesn't have either of those things though. Melo
Yeah.
is an incredibly talented guy without a doubt, but he is both not very tall and not that like overly physical guy. He is pure like charisma and smooth. Like if he's anyone of this generation, it's not a Goldberg or whatever. He's like he's gonna have to be like the Eddie Guerrero of this generation.
Yeah, and with Eddie, it took some time, but with Carmelo, I think he can figure it out, man. Like, I don't even really know if he has much to figure out. I'm just talking in the context of gaming the WWE system.
Yeah,
I think he'll
exactly.
figure it out,
Yeah.
and yeah. But that's NXT. Yeah, Wolf Dogs win, so it's gonna be just a one-on-one tag
Wolf
title matchup.
dogs.
Yeah, and we already know that the OC is gonna win next week, so like fuck it. But yeah,
Boo.
that's all that. I'm just gonna field this to you just because it's been a trend the last 2 weeks, and the sooner we get this over with, the better. Is there anything from AEW you want to talk about this week?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
Oh Jesus, now I'm kind of wishing I didn't if you didn't think I was going to. Fuck.
So,
I'm taking it back. No, I'm just kidding. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
did you see the ratings?
Wasn't it like 700,000 something?
It was, yeah. You actually saw me comment this because you addressed it to me during one of our game nights. I think we might be witnessing Will Osprey becoming an anti-draw in real time.
I mean, your mom said it better than I ever could. Yeah, no, I mean,
I love that that was audible through my mic. That's incredible.
yeah, your mom said it better than I ever could. Like, what's the point? Like, yeah.
That was thank you. Thank you for that commentary, Mom. Thank you so much. That was amazing. But yeah, Osprey opened Dynamite against Shibata and lost like 150,000 viewers.
Yeah.
Um, and the last time that he wrestled on Dynamite, the viewership was really bad too. So
I just want to tell all the viewers that tuned out.
good
I
for
told
you.
you, and I'm pretty sure I told you twice
Oh, but you're
because
talking to the people who made the good decision.
yeah, I mean, and the people that stuck around, I also say I told you twice because nobody, well, except you guys apparently, are going to stick around to watch that face. Tried warning people, tried doing it. Oh, John,
That's
you
gonna pop
shouldn't
my
talk.
mom all over again. Now watch.
John, you shouldn't talk about people like that. That's me. Not when it's correct. Okay. And this motherfucker puffed his chest out. Bruv, I am the feeling. You ain't shit.
Bro,
Sit down.
yeah, you are the feeling, because the whole feeling is we're gonna restore the feeling, and yet like what's some of the most memorable shit that happened in AEW? It happened in front of an empty crowd arena. Like, yeah, you are restoring the feeling, Osprey. You're driving fans away.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Jesus Christ, AEW. God
So
damn.
we the other notable thing that I wanted to talk about was we had a four-way TBS Championship number one contender match.
Okay.
It was Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander, and then once we get past that, it's nonsense. Anna Jay and Sky Blue were both in it, even though Anna Jay makes no sense. She hasn't earned it, and Sky Blue is supposed to be best friends with the current champion, so why the fuck would she be vying for it?
Yeah.
And Mercedes, who you would expect to be vying for it, was on commentary during this match. So again, why is she not competing to try and win the title or to challenge for the title? But she was on commentary, and Willow won the match. She pinned, I think, Anna Jay with her finisher, the babe with the power bomb.
Right.
And then I don't think Mercedes actually did anything afterwards. but she was really bad on commentary. I actually did listen in on this. I watched this. Mercedes on commentary, no bueno, no bueno, muy mal, as a matter of fact.
God, her stock has really taken a hit, man. Like, not even leaving WWE. Leaving WWE actually boosted her stock. It was the whole like New Japan run, I think, that like started to dip it a little bit when she
Yeah,
didn't really do all the dream matches that we thought she was gonna do. And now this, like, fuck me, man.
yeah.
I hate to say it, but as I feel more comfortable saying it given that Vince is out. She might have been better going back to WWE with Naomi and, like, just doing that. I feel like they would have presented her better
I
and maybe
will
would have been presented her more. I don't know.
just yeah, I just want to address Javaris in chat here real quick. I fully agree with what he just said. Javon Evans needs to be on NXT TV as soon as possible. That dude is talented as fuck. He is great.
I need to check out more of him because I have not seen nearly enough, but
You
what
have
I have
Peacock,
seen
right?
I do. I do have
There
Peacock, yeah.
might be an episode or two of NXT Level Up recent enough, like, that he would be on it because he's a relatively recent addition to that show. But he was like an indie guy before, so it's not like he's still learning how to wrestle or anything. He's just new to the WWE system. But yeah, see, you know what? Javon Evans cage match. I'm gonna see what his most recent or like what his oldest NXT level up match was. You know what? It was in early February. I think you'd be able to watch some of his stuff on Peacock if you look up NXT Level Up on Peacock. He's probably on there on episodes that are on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd probably be able to.
And Javaris is recommending I check out some of his stuff from DPW. His name was Jay
I feel like
Malachi.
that's a lot less accessible than just looking on Peacock, though.
Yeah, DPW though should be on YouTube to be fair. So I think they're both
Wait,
about
is it?
equally
I thought that
accessible.
it had like a streaming service like Fight or something.
I thought it was on YouTube, but I mean we
Oh,
could both be right.
you might be
Maybe it's
right.
like some stuff is on YouTube and then other stuff is transferred. But anyway, what were we even talking about? Oh yeah, Mercedes. Yeah, like I hate to say it because I know it was like a really bad rep, but given that Vince is out, like yeah, I do just feel like maybe she would have been better going back to WWE because I feel like
Yeah,
it would have protected her more in a way, and she would have like had the Sasha Banks like brand and stuff, and like I don't know.
Triple H gave her a run in NXT.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, it's just been underwhelming, and I have to wonder how she feels. Where like it's one thing to be an anti-draw, William. It's another thing.
William.
It's another thing to like know that like your star power isn't bringing in the numbers you thought it would. Because I wonder if Mercedes thought to herself like, oh well, they'll never go under a million again as long as I'm on the episodes that they're on. Like no episode I'm on.
Honestly, I thought that her debut episode would draw a million, and it was nowhere close. But her opening segment did hit a million. But Big Bang Theory lead in, you never really know how that works.
Yeah, God. Um, yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about from AEW?
Um, did you watch Takeshita Strickland?
No. That I will say though, because I was gonna say to you, and I should say this anyway. I just do not watch AEW anymore at
Okay.
all. Like,
I've
but
heard that was a really good match. I barely paid attention to it. It looked good, but yeah,
I heard the
AEW.
same that it was really good. I
Yeah,
will say I've heard the same.
AEW has a really hard time actually capturing my attention, but I do have it on the TV sometimes, and I had this on my TV the whole time. I just wasn't paying very much attention to it. So yeah, it was. I've heard that it was a really good match though, so probably
Yeah.
worth checking out, I guess.
Um. I mean, I'm ready just to go to questions. If you're good to
Let's
go.
do it. Wait, actually, did you hear about the Cope Open tonight?
No. What was it? Oh God, Jesus Christ.
It was Mid Cardona.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad that I got to tell you about that.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. Mid Cardona showed up on Collision tonight to answer the Cope Open, the Open Challenge.
Why does this keep happening to me? Fuck. Even when I'm not watching AEW, I still suffer from secondhand suck. Like,
Well, there's a silver lining though. Are you ready?
yeah.
After the match was over, Malachi Black attacked him.
Thank Christ. Oh my God, Malachi, you can do singles? We only thought you only operated as a tag team wrestler. Literally,
Yeah,
no. Literally, my debut that got popped from so many people was when I took fucking Cody Rhodes out. Like, what have you been waiting for?
Oh my god, that was funny.
Yeah. Oh my
Mid
god.
Cardona. Thank Maki Ito for that nickname, by the way. She's the best. I can't wait to watch her face Minoru Suzuki on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Fucking Ito, you're wonderful.
she is.
Um,
She's wonderful. She's
so
fantastic.
switching over to questions, I don't even. I'm gonna treat your second question more seriously, Super Blue, because ain't nobody got time for that first question. Um, will you watch Face Off between Joe and Swerve next week? Probably not. I'm happy for Swerve, but like, I don't even fucking know. Um,
Apparently, Javaris didn't know about Mid Cardona either because he's freaking out in chat too.
yeah. Um,
That's funny.
So Caster Sales, who normally like gets us kicked off, I just did want to acknowledge that one question from Super Blue. Um, do you think Swerve will beat Joe at Dynasty? I have a gut feeling no, and that's why I'm kind of apathetic about this whole thing right now. I'm not thinking it's a guarantee. What about you, Ashton? Do you think Swerve just finally gets the fucking title, or do you
I
think
do
Joe just
think
beats
he's
him?
going to. I feel like, honestly, if he doesn't, it should be considered a hate crime.
You know what? Well said. Super. I guess we should acknowledge this because I guess it'll be the start of us putting our personal WrestleMania card together. Will you watch AJ versus LA Knight at WrestleMania 40 now?
No.
To be honest, I wasn't even opposed to it mainly for the slacks. I want to see AJ win, but I'm guessing he probably won't. I don't know. So I'm good to skip that. I don't even know. Were we
I
even
was definitely hoping we could skip that. I have no interest in watching that. I love
then we're
AJ,
gonna
but yeah, I know AJ could wrestle a broomstick, but I don't think he'd really be interested in wrestling a broomstick while it's lodged up someone's ass.
stay on his neck till all time. Um,
You
so yeah,
say that as if I'm interested in lifting off of it.
yeah. So yeah, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna skip that. Um, Foster asking thoughts on Mellow and Trek main eventing Stand and Deliver. Right call, but I still think it should be an unsanctioned match.
Yes, thank you. That should be an unsane. Honestly, I even said this. I don't know if I was in a chat on Tuesday or if it was a text or if it was just with you or something. I think that and Lyra Roxanne should be unsanctioned. They should both be unsanctioned and they should both go on after Tony D and Ilya. And I think obviously Trick Mello should still go on last, but I think they should both be unsanctioned and they should both go after.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I feel like okay, because yeah, part of your message was cut off for me, Javaris. I don't know how to get rid of this fucking thing, and I've been dealing with it for months. I've got like
The
this.
little thing in the bottom right hand corner is like reaction type shit.
Yeah, how do you get rid of that?
I don't
Can you
think
get
you
rid of that?
can, unfortunately.
It sucks. Um,
Yeah, it's YouTube. They've been actively trying to make their platform worse for like a decade and a half now.
but they should listen to your face more, and then they could avoid doing that.
That would be
But
wonderful.
I don't know. But yeah, Javaris asked, "Do you think Tamantha wins the 5-star and possibly ruins our lives again?" I don't. I'm not gonna go that far, Javaris. I'm actually curious who's even gonna be in the 5-star this year, given all the shakeups and everything. Um, but my pick is still 1,000% Kamitani probably wins. It's just unfortunately not going to be the story that I would have wanted in an alternate timeline where Utami at some point wins the title and then like All Star Dream Queendom is just the main event Kamitani versus Utami for the world title with Kamitani winning or Utami retaining and then something else happening. Like either way, I love their friendship and like I feel like there was so much story to tell there that because of political bullshit, it's like yeah. So no, I don't think Tamantha. I think Kamitani right now. Do you have anything you want to wait in on this?
I wouldn't be surprised if Tamantha won the 5-star. But I think if Bushi Road were smart, and I'm not saying that they are, to be fair, there's a very strong likelihood that they're not actually. But if they are, if they know what's best for them, they will give this to Kamitani because she should have won it last year, but she got injured. And I think they probably should invest in her to make it more likely that she's interested in sticking around because now they have direct competition in Rossidom and they don't want people jumping ship, especially someone who has face of the company vibes like Kamitani, especially when you know that the actual face of your company for the last 13 years wants out.
Yeah.
You need a new face. And Tamantha is closing in on 40 and said that she wanted to retire soon already. Kamitani should be who you're investing in because that's who's going to be there in like 3 years.
And
So
if
I
there's a
think if they know what's best for them, and again, I got to emphasize, I don't know if they do. And if I had to bet on it, I would say they don't. But if they do, Kamitani should be the one, not Tamantha. But would I be
I
surprised if it was Tamantha? Of course not.
yeah. And if there's one thing you can count on TwitWoW for doing, it's giving quality opinion about face. So yeah, Stardom, lock that face of the company down. Um,
Yeah. Oh, I love the way you twisted that. That was hot.
yeah, it was. Um, Javon, we're so weird and I love it. With Danielson showing up on CMLL, do you think there's a chance that he does a G1 before retirement?
Will
I'm just gonna
Tony
say no at this
allow
point.
it?
Wait, say that again, bro.
Will Tony allow it?
That's always the main question. And honestly, I'm gonna be the pessimist and the turd in the punch bowl and say no. No, it's not happening. I've
I'll
given
be
up on
never
that.
mind.
Did you say never mind?
I was gonna say I'll be the turd in your punch bowl, but that was sounding really weird
That
in my
that was a
head.
little yeah, that was gonna be too far for me. I would have had to throw a
That's
flag on that
why I
play.
said never mind. So there you
Yeah,
go.
you know what? You're safe. You're safe. Um, Javar is also asking, um, how do you feel about Gunther versus Obafemi, IC champion versus NA champion? Dude, you don't even need them to be champions. You do that match anytime, anywhere. I'm there. Fucking slap that meat. Fuck yeah. Here's the more interesting question though from Javaris in my mind. Who do you think will be the face of Rossydom,
I
Julia
don't.
or Tommy?
I'm sorry, I don't see how that's an interesting question. Julia is going to WWE. It has to be Utami.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's between those two, Tommy, and pretty much for the exact same reason that you just listed. Like, yeah, Julia's like, look, I'm gonna help it get off the ground because I kind of owe you and all this stuff, but then I'm out. I got a bag
Fuck
waiting for
this
me that I'm gonna
shit.
collect.
I'm out.
Yeah. Oh god, I see Super Blue asked another question. Let's see what this is gonna be here.
How do you feel about the 6 women match of Hill, Jordan? Oh, okay. So he's talking about JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. Wow, the rhyming scheme on that team is incredible. Versus Fallon Henley, Thea Hale, and Kalani Jordan.
Simple. I'm rooting for the heels because I like the cattiness and they're also talented. I mean, Kiana might be the most talented of that bunch, but Izzy Dame also isn't bad. I would put JC at the bottom for me. But
I would
yeah.
put Thea at the bottom personally.
Well, I'm just saying on the heel team.
Oh, on the
Uh,
heel team?
and
Maybe Izzy, but Izzy's got the size though. She's a big woman.
yeah, well, that's why I put JC at the bottom. I put Izzy above JC. Like JC was at the bottom for me on the heel team.
Yeah, but as far as like talent goes, I don't know if Izzy is more talented than JC. JC's pretty solid in the ring, you know.
And as far as the babyface team, I actually kind of like Thea in the ring. I honestly, Fallon might be the bottom for me personally. I don't know.
Fallon does nothing for me, but she can go in the ring at least. You know, not like really good in the ring, but like she's decent enough.
Yeah.
But
Um.
Kalani, and I think Kalani is definitely the worst in the ring, but that's just because she's so inexperienced. But she's still got like ass tons of potential all over the place.
Oh yeah. Like Kalani. It reminds me of that. God, it's been so long. I don't think I even remember the exact Sark quote. But when he says, "I'm not interested in what a person is, but what they can become," that's Kalani Jordan for me. Like I am fascinated by the wrestler she could become with that necessary polish.
Yeah.
So yeah. Super Blue, is the new company really called Rossydom? No, that's just what we've been calling it until we get more like official news about what Rossi's next move is.
Yeah,
So
we don't actually know the official name of it. So Rossidom is a sort of temporary, you know, placeholder name that we've been using.
and then I'm just gonna group these Javaris questions together because they're both about Stardom. Who's the better face for Stardom, Kamitani or Hanan? And then he said, also, do you guys think Hanan beats on over the white belt? And if not, who do you think beats her for it? I mean, in the short term, Javaris, Kamitani has to be. Like Hanan still has to go on her journey, but then when Hanan completes that journey, I feel like you've got your top woman for like 10 years probably or so, however long she wants it. So like most immediately, yeah, Kamitani just needs this run. But Hanan has got everything to be an ace of Stardom for sure. Do I think she beats Ano? I'm gonna be truthful. If Wakanako, love that you came up with that name by the way.
Hell yeah!
If Wakanako would have won the New Blood Tag titles, I actually would have gone on here and said yes. But given that Hanan and Ida retained, I know that Stardom has not been shy about doing double champions, especially when one of the titles is just a tag title. Um, but now I'm not so sure. But if Hanan doesn't beat her, who beats Ano? Maybe Poi even. Poi has been chasing the white belt
Oh,
for a little bit, and I could see that happening. Just my opinion, but I wanted to field it over to you
I'm
since this
not
is
upset
Stardom.
at you. I'm upset at the reality being possible.
Yeah. So what do you think, man?
I mean, here's the thing: you don't need just one face. I think that you could have in Kamitani and Hanan, respectively, your next Mayu and Kairi,
Yeah. Yeah.
with that third slot, that EO role still being yet to be determined, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, tangential to that, because I'm still talking about Stardom. Somebody did a fan video for Mayu that Mayu actually saw and retweeted, and it
Nice,
was a Meek Mill and Future song, and one of
nice.
the lyrics was, what was it? God damn it! I almost want to go on. So I've already been reacting to other media on this goddamn show. I want to go on Mayu's Twitter, find it, and find that lyric because it was essentially like, um, "Fuck your main three, I'm me," which was like kind of like a beautiful illusion with the track of like we talk about Kyrie, Io, and Mayu as like the freedom, but
Yeah.
it's like Mayu's like the number one of the three, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
damn,
really
that's a
cool.
flex.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
really cool. I
flex.
like that.
So yeah, like Mayu retweeted it. I don't know how good Mayu's English is, but if she understood those lyrics, she's like, yeah, I know. Io and Kyrie can't touch me right now. Which speaking of Kyrie, I have to give her credit too. The double chicken wing like slam, the glam slam essentially that Jade did to Kyrie. The way like that Jade got into that and the way Kyrie sold it, like those two women, perfect. No notes. That was great. Um, let's get back to questions here. Again, Javaris, man, Javaris really came with the heat this week. How long do you see Suzu staying in Stardom, and does she go to Rossington when she leaves, or does she just freelance it? Honestly, Javaris, I feel like she's kind of comfortable in Stardom. I don't see her having the My Sakurai complex where she feels they need to follow Julia wherever she goes.
See, this is the thing though. Like I feel like this is being overlooked. Julia isn't going to be in the Rossi promotion for longer than like 6 months, I would guess. She's going there to help him draw fans to get it off the ground, and then she's headed west, man. She's going to WWE. She's moving to America, probably, if I had to guess. She's going to be in NXT by 2025 at the latest.
Yeah,
I could see her showing up on NXT by the end of 2024, even. Like, she is not going to be there for very long. So, even Sakurai being like, oh, yeah, I will follow you, Julia. It's like, girl, you can only follow her so far. You can follow her to Rossydom, but when she goes to WWE, they don't want you.
yeah,
They're not going to want you. So, you're going to be stuck in Rossi's promotion, which might not even survive more than a few years. You never know. And then what? Are you gonna try and go crawling back to Stardom, whom you spurned for Julia? Like, come on.
I love how like you're not even standing Stardom in this case, but there was a bit of that tone in there with spurned. You spurned me, and you
I'm
expect the
just
door to
like
be
that's
open.
that's how Stardom would see it, though. That's the thing.
You spurned me. You can eat out back. Oh, that's nice. Leave the dumpster out back. Oh,
I
fuck
love
you.
that. But that's what I'm thinking about Suzu too, though. Is like Suzu. I don't think Suzu. I think Suzu came to Stardom because of Julia, but I don't think that she would go to Rossi's promotion because of Julia, because she knows that Julia isn't going to be there long.
Yeah. Um.
That's why I'm
Oh,
so baffled by Sakurai as being one of the people that goes there. But then it's like she's not just going there because of Julia. Even if like the whole thing is like, oh, she said earlier this year, I will follow Julia. Like, yeah, obviously that's part of it, but Rossi fucking loves her. She has a job for life as long as Rossi has a promotion because he loves her and he loves the fucking aristocrat gimmick that he gave her. He gave her a gimmick from his own mind and she did it and he just loves her now because she did it for him.
yeah. Javaris did correct me, so I wanted to correct the record. The lyric was "fuck the big three, it's just big me," which great bar, and it was Kendrick Lamar that said it. Who I have to
Oh,
give
of
Kendrick Lamar
course.
another look. I did
Dude,
not
Kendrick
like.
Lamar's so good.
Yeah, I need to give him another look because there were some things I heard, and you know what? I need to give J. Cole another look too because I'm going to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Did not like some of the album stuff I heard from him, but then I heard him freestyle, and I'm like, damn, this freestyle's dope. So Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole both I need to look into, but Kendrick Lamar even more so. I think I'd like Kendrick Lamar more than J. Cole. But anyway, this isn't a music podcast, so let's get back to the questions here. Um, Super Lou, are you looking forward to what Gigi will have to wear next week? I am loving that storyline, so I'm going to say enthusiastically yes. Ariana Grace is amazing. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be very sophisticated,
Yes.
very
Uh,
ladylike.
Penultimate question from Javaris, because he even said in the chat two more, so this is the penultimate one. Do you think Kota Ibushi is washed, or when he comes back from his injury, he comes back better than ever? I'm rooting for him to come back better than ever, and I would never say that a guy of Kota Ibushi's caliber is washed, but he needs to give himself fucking time.
Yeah, that's
Like,
my thing. I'd like if you would ask me if the version of Kota Ibushi who showed up in AEW is washed, my answer would be yes.
yeah.
But like, we never know. Like, how hard is he going to go on rehab? Is he going to try and come back too soon again? Like, yeah, that's only Kota Ibushi can answer that question. We can't.
I mean, he claimed he was going to be the first ever 200-year-old man. Like,
Exactly. So when he comes back when he's like 45 years old and he starts doing moonsault off of fucking scaffolds, then yeah,
yeah,
we'll know that he's not washed.
I'm holding you to that, Kota. You flexed on me, not the other way around, motherfucker. So like,
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'll
Side
live.
eye.
I'll live to be 102 just to see that you're still keeping pace, and then the other 98 years, let go and let God and whatever fucking bullshit. But fucking, we're holding you to it, motherfucker. Um, but yeah, let's see here. Javaris, last question. Do you think Keith Lee does anything in AEW when he comes back? I'm gonna be honest, Javaris. There are times I forget Keith Lee is in AEW because they've just fumbled that bag so fucking hard. Um,
Wait, Keith Lee's in AEW?
exactly. Um,
Oh
so
god, that hurt to say. That hurt me physically to say.
But you know what? It was for the no. You know what? I'm not lying to you. I was gonna say it was for the greater good, but no greater good happened here. AEW sucks. Fuck you, Tony. Um,
Fuck
fuck.
you, Anthony.
yeah. I'll tell you what. If Ashton's cool indulging you, Alex, then I will. But I would also say that I would like this to be our last
No,
question
I
on
wanted to
closing the
ask
game.
you, do you want to hold off on that and just do that as a package deal with our Mania preview predictions on Friday?
You know what? That's a good idea. That's a
There
good
you go,
idea. I mean,
Alex. Tune in Friday night.
yeah, we'll do it because we're already live reacting to it, courtesy of Super Blue. So yeah. Um, So yeah, all right, then I still might close the gate. It depends. Any more questions from anybody? I'm gonna wait that little bit and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I guess there aren't any questions, so I'm just gonna close everything up and we can move on to Abel's favorite segment, even though Abel isn't here. I love you,
Abel,
Abel.
where are you? We miss you.
I know. Let me love on your face. You too, Kirby, by the way, only showing up randomly for certain stardom shows. Like I don't have withdrawal right now. What the puke, man?
You said puke.
All right. I'm
Are
not seeing any
you
questions,
okay?
so let's move on to our final segment.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, let's definitely move on to our final segment.
I'm gonna
High
make
spots,
myself louder. I feel like I'm coming in too low.
possibly.
How's this?
That's better. That's a lot better.
Fantastic.
Javaris, are you going to be in Wrestling Fantasy Draft tomorrow, John? I'm probably going to be AFK all of tomorrow because it's Sunday.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say, Javaris, you gotta realize John has never ever had any interest in doing a fantasy wrestling draft with us. I've been trying to get him to do it for years now, and every time it's just like that's not really my thing.
we need you to judge our drafts. I was going to say if Ashton wants to send the drafts over afterwards and
Yeah,
then I could judge them, I'm more than happy to do that.
you're the
Like that
best judge.
yeah, that I will always give you guys. Actually, doing the driving stuff, nah. Like especially on a Sunday, I really value my Sundays. I know Ash and I both do,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, all right, high spots, low shots. Let's do it. Um, low. If but Ash John would do it. You know what, Foster? That's fair, but you don't need to call me out like that, you handsome fucking man. God
Yeah,
damn
okay,
it.
well, I need to see if I can DM Obo on Twitter.
Wow. That's how desperate y'all are, huh? Wow. Okay.
I mean, dude, I can tell you right now, we're planning on doing two. We're doing one tomorrow and one on Monday, and the one on Monday is just so that Abel can participate.
Oh my god, I love when you include him. So yeah, low shot. Let me focus here.
Yeah, focus
Uh
your face off. Why'd you
uh
blow raspberries?
because I'm thinking
Wow, does thinking get easier when you blow raspberries? I gotta try that technique.
Yes, it does. Anyway, uh, I'm gonna say low shot R Truth.
You're
That was
stealing
just
Foster's idea.
oh god, yeah. Damn it. Now I feel bad like I am stealing. I feel like we practically said it at the same time. Damn it, y'all distracted me. This is your fault.
Blow
Um,
more raspberries about it.
wow. You know, man, sometimes your face really asks for it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Asks for what exactly?
You know what? This could get really mean spirited very quickly, so I'm not finishing the thought. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So, all right, let me think of a new low shot since Alex and
Oh
I shared a brainwave,
man.
which should have been the happiest moment of my life
Well,
is now
no,
tainted. So
I wasn't trying to discourage you. It's beautiful that you and Alex
it's
shared a
too late now.
brainwave.
Way to be my father. Way to go. It's ruined. So
It's
now,
beautiful though. You should share a brainwave. If you're gonna share a brainwave with anyone, it should be Foster. He's wonderful.
yeah, that's you know what? No, I can't give him the low shot best, even though you're so right. Gets a low shot for existing. Um, but no, he didn't have that bad of a week. You know what? My low shot's gonna be Dominic Mysterio because he got punched by Becky, and then he also got shoved by Becky. So he pretty much got treated like a chump in their brawl. And then on SmackDown, there was like a brawl, and Dom still got like taken out. He was on the team that got taken out. So yeah. And Dom even had to explain to the judgment day, I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys, but I just wanted to make you proud and do things. Nobody told you to. Remember your place in the fucking pecking order. So yeah, Tom's my low shot.
Bro, his backstage segment Friday night was hilarious to me. He comes off as such a baby back bitch.
I know. I don't even know if there is sauce going on. It's just that bad.
They
Um,
they hurt me, mommy.
they punched me and then they gave me and it was bad.
I feel like
Get
you're
it?
doing a Cartman impression here.
No, if it was Carmen, I would need a bit more for a Carmen, but yeah, just
I
whiny.
just love
Pathetic.
though that he acts so insufferable and Rhea indulges him.
I know. I'm waiting for her to be like enough, but I
It's like this little slimy, shitty, little fucking whiny bitch is pulling the hottest woman in the company.
yeah.
That's gotta piss so many people off. It's funny as shit.
So, who is your low
Uh,
shot?
my low shot, as a matter of fact, I've got a dual low shot here, actually. It's two people who suffered the exact same fate, basically,
Yeah.
and it's Shinsuke Nakamura and Dakota Kai because they both lost despite their opponents getting distracted during their matches.
High spot for me, honorary high spot is Wolf Dogs. Emphasis on Braun Breaker. You're welcome, Caillou.
Wow,
The
you're even having Caillou be a part of it. That's crazy.
dude, I know. But yeah, like they protect they protected the integrity of their stand and deliver tag title match of keeping it one on one. But
Mm.
my actual high spot, I mean, goddamn, it's you know what? Foster's gonna be very happy about this. It's pretty deadly.
Oh, I thought it would be Drusif.
Drusev got curb stomped. It didn't feel right. Um,
Damn.
but pretty deadly, who should be in the tag title ladder match because then it would actually have charisma in it. Instead of just pure mayonnaise with no flavor. Um, they got the biggest tag team win of their career against Kevin Owens and Randy fucking Orton. Now I know. People could be like, but didn't Logan Paul get involved? Weren't there brass knucks? Oh my god, look at you. The perception. That doesn't matter. The referee didn't see it, therefore I'm choosing to ignore it. Pretty Deadly just beat two main event stars. Therefore, they're your next tag team champions. I don't make the rules. Who are your high spots?
So if you caught me giggling to myself, it was because Super Blue made LA Knight his high spot, even though he got blown the fuck up from cutting a promo.
Yeah, maybe cut down on the roids and remove the stick from your ass.
He'll never
Fuck.
do it. He'll never do it.
He's like, no, I need the splinters. They give me first.
Bro, I love that you couldn't even get through that with a straight face.
God, I'm such a narcissist. I pop myself, and yet I apologize for nothing. But
My
no,
high spot though is man, he's doing his Dwayne-dest. It's Dwayne the Rock Johnson for having probably the segment that, well, for having a contender for segment of the year so far, 2024. I love how many contenders there are, though. It's been such a good year in wrestling, at least. But man, what a fantastic segment to close the show. I love too that, like, when he first whispered to Cody, nobody had any clue what he said, and then Cody said it was a promise that he's not going to be able to keep, and I was like, oh, well, so that means that it's The Rock telling Cody something good, right? Because Cody wouldn't have said that if it was anything bad. But no, it was The Rock telling him that he was going to make him bleed, and then he fucking did. So he literally made Cody a liar, and that's also just so delicious. And then he beat the shit out of him. He made him bleed. He made him squash one of those shitty little blood packets on his forehead. And then he wiped it onto that belt that said Mama Rhodes. And then even when the cameras stopped rolling, he said, "No, fuck that." And he posted it on his Instagram. The Rock is the best thing in wrestling right now, and I'm tired of pretending otherwise.
You know what? I want to thank you for being the fucking Giga Chad in the room and just picking a high spot that deserves it, unlike a man that has to defend his high spot by saying, and I quote, there is no stick in his ass. Wow. Um, with that said, I'm John. That's Ashton. This is one hell of an industry where statements like that can be said totally unironically. And I want to thank you all for tuning in once again to the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. Leave a like as you file out. Subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. Updated pin tweet on my end for Q&A. That is going to be June 27th next quarter. I actually believe I got that exactly right. Look at my face. And so,
Did
yeah.
because it's the day before my cousin's birthday.
Oh my God. Um, so yeah, that's happening. And then as far as next week goes, guys, I mean, what aren't we doing? I mean, Jesus Christ. Fucking
What aren't we doing?
You know what? Normally I'd be like, why? But makes sense. Legit. Monday, getting together for Raw. Hopefully, I will be there. I can't even make you guys any promises anymore in good conscience. I don't know what the fuck comes up anymore. But ideally, we'll be in the Discord together doing Raw. Go home Raw before Mania. Tuesday, NXT, go home show before stand and deliver. Again, Discord time. Wednesday will be when the content starts for us because Wednesday at 4, we are doing TJPW Grand Princess 24, headlined by Miyu Yamashita versus Miyu Watanabe. Please, please, if there is a fucking God, which that, by the way, is happening. It's actually happening in a couple hours, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might even
Yeah,
be.
no,
Is it?
that show is starting in like 15 minutes.
I was even gonna say, fuck couple hours. It's starting at 1, isn't it? And then yeah, you would have confirmed it. So yeah, I'm hoping I have to avoid spoilers. And Ashton, you're gonna have to remind me because I would have been close to being overcharged. I've got very little money in my account right now. When April starts, I need to re-up my Wrestle Universe subscription when my money comes in. So I had to temporarily cancel it, but I'm gonna re-up it before we go live. Because I
Oh yeah,
think
no,
Wednesday is
I've
April
canceled
3rd.
it a long time ago. I haven't been paying for it.
Really? Okay, yeah. Um, so yeah, no, I re-upped it this month because I still thought we'd be able to do this show this month, but given that we're going to be doing it like because Wednesday should be April 3rd, I have to re-up it for like this month because yeah, I think they would have actually renewed me today and it would have put me in the negative on my balance. That's why I'm saying I
Oh,
canceled.
geez. Okay, yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing that Wednesday at 4, which God help me, my sleep has been fucked. But I care about this podcast. I will not let any of you guys down. I will be there. Then Thursday we've got Stardom recap. Thank God we already did Q&A because that would be insane. So it's just Stardom recap. Hopefully it's not that bad because we got through all the big shows. I feel like Thursday is gonna be more relaxed than I'm probably thinking because I don't envision Stardom being that bad. Just in terms of like quantity and volume. Friday, I mean, you just heard. We're going to be doing preview and predictions 11:30, but now we're adding stand and deliver into the mix. The Steiner math just got crazier. So we're going to be previewing and predicting both shows. Then Saturday, stand and deliver, 12 p.m. Eastern time, courtesy of Super Blue, paying for us to react to the whole show. And then when's WrestleMania night one for? Is that like 7 p.m. for us Saturday?
I believe 8.
8 p.m. Okay. I want to. We're gonna have to double check that, bro, because something tells me 7, but you might be right. I don't want to like challenge you on this. So yeah, 7 or 8 p.m. We'll have to figure that out. and that'll be select match reactions. Possibly, maybe we'll react to the whole show. It really depends on what's on night one, because you already know Ashton was hoping to skip AJ Styles versus LA Knight. I agree, so we're not watching that unless the stick does
My
fall out of
mom
his
just
ass.
said 7, but I don't know if that's the main show or the kickoff.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And
Do
then
you?
Sunday, I guess same time, right? Sunday at 8
Yeah,
for night
well,
two.
it's the same time both nights for sure.
Yeah, what I want to know is, and you know what? Do you want to go over the rest of what we're reacting to during preview and predictions?
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. I'm gonna save off that question. So yeah, Saturday, Sunday, it's fucking mania. And so yeah, and then week after, like, yeah, it's gonna be fucking Fave 5 at some point. So yeah, it's really gonna be something. All right. We will see you guys then. Be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in.